What's up, Max? You are back this week. I'm back off a little hiatus. I look really pale, but I don't know why. I was outside a lot, so maybe my lighting's off.
Compared to me, it's
yeah. You look like a ghost. It's probably snowing up there now, or getting ready to snow, right?
I heard someone said it snowed here on Monday. Like it snowed in the air, but then it melted when it came to the ground. But I was at home, like at my parents' house, so it didn't do that there. So I don't know. I don't think it has snowed here yet.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, we're not here to talk about snow, and we're definitely not here to talk about Finland. We're here to talk about RC racing, and there's nothing going on in Finland because it's cold. Probably 10 scale. But let's drop that intro and get into some 8 scale RC stuff.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed, Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 148 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great, and I guess it's official. Now you're more involved. Yeah, you're an official co-host now. Arrogant Max, a.k.a. Max Mort, Arrogant. Yeah, Max Mort, a.k.a. Arrogant Max. I think you like your new nickname.
I don't mind it. I guess to me, like the word arrogant doesn't mean much, so I don't really care. I don't know how people take that. I don't know if it's like a negative word in English. It kind of is.
It is very negative, but it's fun because you are a bit arrogant. But that's fine because you're pretty smart. Some people are embracing it.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you Arrogant Max. Just because of statements just like that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, you don't know why I'm called Arrogant Max? Well, so there you go. Thank you for coming on.
I know where it comes from. I'm not surprised.
But people are embracing it. People are embracing it and they like it. But yeah, you're officially on. That's cool. You've been working with us all year. It's good that now, you're going to be working a lot more. We're looking to revamp the podcast going into 2022, and you're going to be a big part of that. So thank you. And it's going to be fun working with you a lot. We've been working together a lot anyway, but now it's going to be a little bit more official. So thank you for that. Shout out. I just want to, before we get in, I have to obviously say thank you to everybody who supports the podcast. We dropped 2 last week. Was it last week we dropped 2 or the week before?
Yeah, we recorded a short one.
Yeah, it was last week.
And you released the Joseph.
Yes.
Longest podcast ever.
Well, not longest
recording.
Yes, it took 5 days to record that. 5 days and 4 sittings. So we got that done. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That was actually a good chat with Joseph. And I look forward to catching up with him when he gets back to Finland next week. He has one more race left. He's in France, so he's going to some race there. He's probably going to meet up with Felix and whatnot and do something there. And we'll talk more about him because he actually, I think he had a decent show in it. We're going to talk about the Reds GP and all that stuff a little bit in today's podcast. But thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. Guys, thank you for the support. We can't do it without you guys. Remember, if you want to even get even closer and talk even more, and it's growing. We got about 110 people in there now. Join our NNRC Discord because I'm loving it. And we're talking about something that we just found out something today that we're talking about in there right now as we're recording this. So that's where we're gonna, always gonna have Facebook and all that stuff, but the Discord just a little bit more personal, and then we'll have a link in this written description. Thank you to you guys. Obviously, shout out and thank you to the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. You guys got early release of this week's guest, which was Berkan Kilic. Great talk with him. 15 years old. You would never think he's 15. Even his voice is so deep, and he does not look 15. But it was a good chat with him, and he seems very non-curious about a lot of things in RC. And he just like, yeah, I just heard to have fun and drive. But it was still a great chat. And I look forward to talking to Burak. Burak seems complete opposite. He seems to take it very seriously. So I look forward to that. Thank you to Berkan for his time. Thank you to the patrons. If you guys wish to become a patron of this podcast, you can. The link for that is in the written description of this podcast. Every little bit helps, and it helps keep these bills paid, and it goes towards, getting new stuff and, helping me get back doing RC and whatnot. So I greatly appreciate that. Obviously, we have sponsors, and we can't do it without you guys. We're coming up to the end of the year. Hopefully, our sponsors stay on with us. And if you are interested in possibly being a part of this podcast in 2022, hit us up. We have tiers and advertising tiers for everybody. But shout out to Mayako. I know everybody's waiting for this. We have a bunch of questions. Don't worry, we're waiting for it too. I am. Joseph's not on today, so we're not going to be able to talk much about that. But from what I've seen with the Mayako, I can't wait. Shout out to Beach RC. They have their Masters of Dirt this weekend. The track looks really good. Lots of step-ups and stuff. So I think Lucas built it, Lucas and the Beach RC crew. So congratulations to them. I don't know if Max is frozen or he's just asleep. Okay, there it is.
No, I'm just asleep.
So good luck and shout out to everybody that's going to Beach RC for Masters Dirt. That's really turning into a big off-road race. Everybody loves it and has a lot of fun. TNR Fuels, this is another company that came on with us at the beginning of the year, and they have grown immensely. Good to see Chris Nelson. Hopefully, I'll be able to run some of his fuel when I get to California in February for DNC. Shout out to Hitec RC. I'm starting to see a lot more people running Hitec products. That's awesome. I love my RDX2 Pro charger. Hopefully, they can send us some product for giveaways at the end of the year for our Christmas show, and maybe even help us out with a project that we're doing. Yes, Lefty has another project going on. He's got a bunch of projects going on. And I don't know how he does it, but he's got them. So I have another project going on. And shout out to Tekno RC. Some moves coming out of Tekno, I'm hearing. One of these moves we're going to talk about today, hopefully. If this is true, it's possible. So shout out to Tekno RC, another long-time supporter of the podcast. Sun City RC Raceway down there in El Paso. Shout out to the Showers family, Joey, Christian, and Corbin, and thank you for all their support. Lugs Racing Tires, Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, of course, RCGP. I hear episode number 4 is being worked on Driven and should be out soon. And then we have House of RC, who is planning a big update, I hear, and has some cool features coming out. If you have not made your profile there, please go ahead and do it. And also, if you're looking for coupon codes, we can save some money with Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, and of course, Racecraft USA and Lugs RC. We have some coupon codes for that. And that's all in the written description of this podcast. And there goes Max swallowing hard. We got to work on that swallow, Max. And I just want to shout out a couple people real quick. Shout out and happy birthday to one of our patrons, Martin Gili. It's his birthday today. And I want to shout out to my boy, Larry, the Pink Pinion Crusader. Joey Fisher, he is headed to Mod. It's like his biggest race that he goes to every year, and he goes all out for this. And I'm sure we're going to have another Mod versus stock debate with him after this. So have fun. It's going to be interesting to see what hijinks he gets into this year. Last year, he came out in a Borat G-string thingy. Like what Borat uses in that
I know, in the swimsuit.
And yeah, he always has fun at this race. And I also I got a mail call, and I actually left it at home. I wrote this down, but I got a mail call from my buddy Eddie Fikes, longtime friend of mine out there in Las Vegas. He's been making his own dry rub for meat and all that stuff. So I ordered up a bottle of that, and I got it here the other day, and it tastes really good. It's peppery. I love it. And I meant to bring some here and show it. I have it here. And I'm going to do some meat up with it. But you can put it on everything. So I've been putting it like on just when you make potatoes or whatever, anything like that. So check him out. You can hit up Eddie Fikes or it's called Uncle Eddie's Dry Rub, I believe. And I'll put the link for that there. He's a longtime friend of mine, a small business. I'm trying to help him out a little bit and get him some business. We support small business. All right, Max. So, yeah, we did 2 podcasts last week, and then I took a little break. I had some visitors here, so I had a friend here, like a younger nephew. So I was taking him around, so I got to, I was doing tour guide and party life for a week, and I definitely ain't caught up for party life anymore. And when I mean by party life, I was out to 12, not him. And it was fun. It's been a while since I've done anything like that, so it's like locations that I haven't been in a long time, and showing him around, and he's blown away by everything because he's never seen anything like this. Got to see a fight. That was fun. Always good to see a fight. Good Haitian versus Dominican fight. Where the Haitian guy pulled out a knife, and then I was just sitting. I actually had a few drinks, so I had a few drinks. I've obviously broken the tack on that. So we had a few drinks, and I was just watching him. So the Haitian guy pulled out a knife, and then all the Dominican guys were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then they were gonna fight. And then the taxi drivers are there, and the taxi drivers are like, the Haitian guys trying to run on the taxi drivers, and the taxi drivers like, "Hey, get away!" And I'm sitting there like, "Oh wow, this is fun." And I'm watching this, and then like one of the taxi drivers comes. I just put my beer, brand new beer, cold beer, put it right there. Like it was like where you sit is like on a balcony, and they're like kind of just on the sidewalk there. So they can still reach up. I was just talking to this guy, and he comes running, and he grabs my fresh, brand new cold Presidente.
Holy shit!
I value these things because I haven't drank them in a while, and I'm probably not gonna drink again until Christmas. He picks it up as I just put it on, runs off, and then throws it at this guy, and then like all these people chase this guy up to the street, and then the cops came and took him away. So
wow.
And then he came back and bought me another beer, so I was happy about that. So
what? The cops let him go?
No, this was the taxi driver. One of the taxi drivers who was chasing.
Oh,
it was like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once that guy pulled out the knife, dude, that's what
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was the guy with the knife who got your beer.
Once that guy pulled out the knife, like that's when everybody was like, "Hey, no," you know what I mean? At first, it was just started as two guys that were fighting, and then the other guy put out the knife, and then everybody, So
I mean, I can't even imagine this. Like,
oh, it was super fun.
This doesn't happen over here.
It was super fun. Like it's just just so much. Like this is just this isn't this. Look, people's like Keenan's Lefty. Left isn't saying this is just. Like things, this is the Wild West on her, and things like this happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I did not feel for my safety at any point. In fact, I was just watching the whole thing. I watched the whole thing unfold.
Yeah,
it happened right in front of me.
I mean, I get probably used to it if I see that quite often. So
yeah, I've seen.
And I bet you've seen that going out in.
I've seen worse. I'm seeing a lot worse here. Here's real life, man. Here's real life.
Yeah.
People and it's beautiful and it's lovely here, but like that, like anything, it can go bad. Luckily, no guns were drawn in this one because then a lot of times they like to just start shooting and then.
Yeah, then anything can happen.
Yeah, and it was just so congested. So to say all of that, a little bit of party life. Yeah, I'm too ill for that shit. That's what I figured out. And like being out to 12 o'clock was like, I was so dead the next day. And like this, and I only drank one night. And then like the other nights that we went out, I didn't drink. But good time. Reminds me of why I love this country and why I'm here. Because I can see stuff like that and it's not a big deal to me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I feel perfectly safe. All right. How about you, man? How's university life? I know we got to get on. We got a lot to talk about. What's going on with you?
Yeah. Nothing much. I have exams next week, so I've been kind of focusing a lot more on studying. But apart from that, nothing major. Nothing major, really. Just life. Life goes on.
Yeah, you've been following RC. That's about it, though. That's, definitely be on top of RC because we've been talking in our WhatsApp groups.
Yeah. I mean, Discord, that's just, that's the way I open Facebook once in a while and all that, so I can see RC news. So I'll keep in touch. And the Discord actually has been really good. I've been actually really excited. I've been using it quite often, so I dig it.
No, that's good. That's good. Should we go into some questions? Should we get right into the news? What do you think? The news is
let's go through the news. Let's catch up with the Reds GP first. I think that's the news story of.
Well, as you guys know, that the RC news is brought to you by TNR Fuels and Hitec RC. Here at the NNRC, we are all about that glory, and that glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest fuel on the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family, made by racers for racers. The fuel is currently available throughout the USA, and he is starting up international shipping, so hit him up. I'm actually going to try and get some down here to the DR. For more information or to support TNR Fuels or just to purchase some, go to www.tnrfuels.com or contact Chris Nelson directly at chris@tnrfuels.com, or you can find them on House of RC or Facebook. And of course, we are sponsored by Hitec RCD, one of the longest operating servo companies in RC. Hitec RC is a leader in RC systems, delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by a dedicated customer service personnel. I believe they have a really great warranty on their products as well. The HSBC 9381TH servos have efficient brushless motors, titanium gears, low consumption, constant output, and a metal case, and they regenerate power back into your batteries upon braking. The RDX2 Pro charger, which I have, can charge up two 4-cell packs in just 45 minutes and provide power for your engine heating needs and tire warming needs. Also, you can charge your phone off it and whatnot. And it's a Bluetooth dongle. You can monitor all this stuff from your phone. I am geeking out on that. And hopefully I'll be putting some Hitec servers in Operation Gasoline, which is coming up soon. And that can go all over Hitec. I know I'm still got to do Operation 115, but that had to be put on the back bench for a little while. Operation 115 still an initiative, but I had to go on the back bench because we had some problems. But we're going to get that fixed. So trust in Hitec, your servo and charger headquarters. Visit hitecrcd.com, where to buy for your nearest retailer. All right, Max. So starting out, let's go real quick. I just really wanted to touch on the Spanish nationals. Congratulations to Robert Bardet, his 14-time Spanish national champion. I thought that whatchamacallit would win this week.
Canas?
I thought Canas would had the championship in the bat. You know what I mean?
No. Barrio already won it in the third round. So Robert won the first 2 rounds and finished third in the third one. So he already had locked in because I believe Canas had some issue because they count 3 out of 4.
Okay.
So Canas didn't have a win, so he couldn't make it. So I think that was it. It only was confirmed now because the Spanish nationals have some rule that you have to attend all 4, which is a bit weird. But yeah, that's why it was only confirmed here because he had to attend the race. But Canas won the race. To me, it's a bit surprising. Like, I wonder, did the engine change mid-season affect any of this? But Robert hasn't seemed like he's been too fast in the last 2 races.
Well, he was good at
he was
Buggy
starting
Land.
6th for the main. Well, yeah, he was good at Buggy Land, but he still had some issues. Like in quali, he qualified in the B and all that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just that he's been having like some bad luck. Races haven't been going his way or something. But I don't know. Hard to say at this point. You would have to see more to be sure.
Yeah, I think he's also, we're getting to the point like he's getting up. He's in his 30s now too, I would say. So maybe other things are prioritized over what he had before.
I mean, he won his first European Championships over 14 years ago.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Maybe sorry. Maybe we're just kind of like expecting him to be the Robert Bardet of old, and it's really hard for anybody to be that just be that consistent for so long on anything, you know what I mean? And then he's got to also be hungry about this and want to do it and all that type of stuff, which I believe he is. So I'm not worried about that. But man, Canas he kicked ass on this track.
Yeah, this was Canas's track. Like the type, the flow of the track, the grip level, everything, it matches how he drives. He's very good on tracks like this. So, and also the multi-surface style of tracks. Mm-hmm. I do believe he still runs Sismic. So usually Sismic is really good on tracks like this. Remember Montpellier and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, their big thing is the polished surface, but I believe Seismic has good threads for tracks like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up because this race really had some really great coverage. So I just want to bring up some of that.
Yeah, that too.
while we're doing it. We're gonna go a few minutes in to do that while we do it. But what blew me away about this, because I actually learned about this in the Mayako Discord. So one of the guys, was it the Mayako Discord?
No, non-MRC.
No, it was the NNRC. I get confused with him, but he's part of the I believe he's part of the Mayako Discord. So he was like, man, it's gonna be. He's like, it's really gonna be really good coverage and all this type of stuff. So I was like, all right, how good is the coverage gonna be? So I really wanted to, pay attention to this week. And so when I did tune in, like I think it was Saturday or Sunday, when I did tune in and I saw the coverage, I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is no joke.
This was professional level coverage. Obviously, there's some things you would want to improve, like having the names instead of the numbers. You have it on slow speed or something. Oh, it just plays like, yeah. Okay, yeah, but this was like multi-camera. The announcer were going wild, which was cool. I don't understand Spanish, but it sounds like they're on it. So I mean, everything about it, we picked the bats, but it just stuck on the.
Yeah, it will turn. We'll talk while it's going. Look at that! Yeah. Like, that's so awesome. Look at that. Let's try and get some of the audio. All the switches. They got a camera at the end of the straightaway. Yeah. Look at this track, I think man.
The track is cool. I think it's sort of like modern meets old school, like European. Because in Europe, like a lot of tracks in Southern Europe used to be sort of multi-surface, but the layout is very modern in sense of how tracks are like these days, and it's not bumpy at all. So it's very modern in that sense, but. Sort of the multi-surface and the style and what it looks is very old school, which I really like.
Yeah, but it really has some it really flows though. If you really watch this,
for sure.
I love the ash. It has an asphalt bank corner at the end of the straightaway, and the straightaway is carpet.
Yeah,
and then the jumps are carpet, and then oh my gosh, like we kind of was talking about this. I think Ranafolk was like, this was my home track back when I was in Spain, and. You know how like we'll say it doesn't have a lot of big jumps and all that stuff. These type of tracks don't need big jumps. They just have jumps that make you go fast.
And the thing is, like, I don't mind big jumps at all. I think Joe is the best at doing this, but like for example, the jumps at PMB, it's just like so much air time that it's not like fun anymore. It's just like you jump the car in the air and then you wait for it to land. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's not faster to do any certain line or anything. But with Joey's tracks, you can, like, the way you jump the jumps, you can actually gain a lot of time by sort of scrubbing him and all that. So I think Joey does a good job with this, but his jumps aren't very big usually. They are big, but it's not like huge, like at some of the East Coast races, like let's say AMS in the past or PNB or anything camera.
Like that. Look at that. Like, all right, so you guys, if you ain't watching this, if you're listening to this, you have to come watch it on YouTube. But what the best thing? Okay, I have to talk about this. This is probably the best coverage I've seen in such a long time, and I could understand pretty much what the guys were saying in Spanish, so that they were making it super excited. My only gripe is the overlay. Like, I just can't. If I don't know the car numbers, we can't see it now. If this and we don't know lap time, so
and that will be very easy to add. You just stretch it out a bit. So
but this track's so good.
That's a bit annoying, but. I think everything about this was like positive, so I'd be very happy if we get coverage like this in the future as well.
But here's my question, and I just don't understand why this is a national. How come like this would have been? I don't know why didn't Afra? I'm not getting on Afra, so people can shut up before they go. But this would have been great for Nick and Matt to do like what they've done the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And probably had the English version of it. But, I mean, honestly, these people did such a good job. But maybe Efra just said, hey, let them do their thing. You know what I mean? And, yeah, besides it not being in English, which is okay because it's not supposed to be in English. It's for the Spanish crowd. And the overlay, I'm fine. I love it. Like, I just love the racing, the track. concrete curbing. It's beautiful. It's awesome, man. And then we got on a discussion about Spain being the mecca of 8 scale right now. And when you got tracks like this and more, of course it is. Like, this is the place you want to go to just do 8 scale, I think, right now in the world. So
yeah. I mean, Spain is the sort of center of 8 scale racing in Europe. It doesn't feel like it online, or it doesn't feel like that in terms of how many fast drivers they have, but the amount of tracks, the amount of racing, and the fact that they can race all through the year, I think Spain is sort of the best place to do RC in Europe, especially 8 scale. So I think that's something that has been sort of missed. But now to talk about sort of the live streaming and the aspect of that, I find it a bit weird that like this isn't done by EFRA, because if the Spanish organization can do this, why can't EFRA do this? For more races, and why can't every just organization work together?
Why couldn't we have this type of coverage from Buggyland?
You know yeah, exactly. Like, why didn't this happen when Buggyland happened, and why was this only in Spanish? Like, it's not taken away from these guys if there's English commentary, and it's not like EFRA could still pay for the footage or something, or they can settle on what they want to do, but it works together. Like, everyone doing this by themselves is going to make it harder for everyone. And I think this was great. And what we need to do is continue doing stuff like this, but then work together with everyone so everyone's on the same page. Right now, everyone's trying to do their own thing, but no one has the resources to do it properly.
I would agree. This was awesome, man. I just kind of was like, wow, I can't believe. Maybe there was some confliction, and maybe they tried to work out something and it didn't happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just, this would have been great to do the course. It's a national, so I thought that was the plan. But that's fine. We got it, and that was the best coverage, in my opinion, for commentating and for camera angles. All right, so let's go on to, and congratulations to Robert Battier, 14-time national champion, and congratulations to Canas, who is definitely his stock has gone up in this year, and he is definitely
for sure.
He is definitely one of. It's just a matter of when he can put it all together and start winning some of these bigger races for Canas. And
he's always second or third. Yeah. I don't know why that happens, but he hasn't gotten that big win yet.
He has won Montpellier, and I think Montpellier is going to be a big race this year, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I mean, yeah, but
next year,
like, it's always like when he won Montpellier, like what was it? Not this year, but the year before. It's been always sort of like someone retires from the lead or something. Well, I mean, last time he won, it was pretty good. He pretty much dominated or sort of led through the main. But a lot of these races where like he has been high up, it's always like he's almost just there. So like he just needs to. I want to see a race where Canas just dominates. Like that's what he could be able to do, but it just hasn't happened yet. The way Ongaro does it is like, it's crazy, because Canas isn't that much slower than Ongaro.
No, he's super
fast. But he's just that tiny bit that he's like missing something.
Oh, sorry. I made a mistake. That was supposed to be muted. I'm trying to load up the video from whatchamacallit, from the Reds GP. So that was what you guys heard. All right. Great race. I enjoyed it. It was, I remember just messaging you and saying, man, look at the coverage. Like, it's so great. I even sent it like David, and I was like, wow, like, and just the overlay was my biggest gripe of everything. So
yeah, but I mean, it was their first race that they covered with this group of people.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was good.
I would say so. Definitely good. All right. I'm trying to have this where it doesn't have any volume, but it's not working. So what we want to do now is we're going to go to the Reds GP here. Let's see if I could get this on a bigger screen. There we go. Oh, that's too big. All right, guys, we're trying to utilize our tools here at the NNRC. And, I'm kind of, You would think I knew this stuff by heart, but I don't. Where is it? All right, Facebook, sure, and yeah, let's go.
Well, I'll start about what happened at Reds GP. So no surprise, Ongara won again. That's what he always does. Just wins.
The coverage of this, just
no
real
matter
quick,
what.
the coverage of this was really good. The overlay of this was actually much better, and the only thing that they didn't have as many camera angles as the other people, and their announcing was just from the actual stand. But with the overlay and the scoring, I could follow it, so it wasn't no big of a deal. But kudos to them.
Yeah,
man.
I mean they've
Great
done
track.
this for this race. I think this race has been going on since I'd say something like 2016, 2017, but it's been there for a few years, and they've always had good coverage. I don't know if it's the same guy who used to do Bitty contest live streams, but he has his own website, I believe, and he does coverage for some of the Italian races. So this was definitely good, and this has been here for every year, and the track has been pretty good. Each time they have this race, they have it always at the end of the year, sort of. So
have you been to this track?
It's a nice track. Yeah, it's right next to the Reds factory.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've been here 2 or 3 times, I think.
It's a beautiful track.
It's a nice track. It gets really nice when it grooves up like this.
I'm about to say, so, it looks really polished, the groove.
Yeah. It generally isn't that way. It's generally more dusty, but I guess during these races, it always gets that way. And this is sort of the home track for Boots, and Valente, I believe, lives close by as well.
So me just showed up.
These are the 2 guys on the feed as well.
I mean, but the layout is good. It's fast. It has a bridge that nobody uses because they just jump over it, which is just how bridges are supposed to be, in my opinion, or at least arched. I love it. Joseph was here, so it was interesting to hear his take on it. Ongaro just fast. Was it Ongaro, Polito?
It was Ongaro, and then Polito, and then Valente in third. So Berton TQ'd and he started second, but he broke very early on, like it's 7 minutes into something. So it would have been fun to see his pace. He was clearly had some speed because of the TQ. Oh, Ongaro flamed there, I believe.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah,
I think it was Ongaro. Yeah, but Berton had some speed, and he probably would have fought for the win. At least he would have fought for second and third. So that was a bummer to see him retire. But Polito, again, to me, it's not a surprise anymore. But to me, I'm very convinced he's now sort of one of the top Italian guys, like Ongaro, Barufalo.
He just needs to get out. He needs to get out of Italy, man. That's it. Like, just people just don't know him.
I mean, he's raced outside Italy, but he's only raced like Euros and races like that. He needs to get
to America, man. He just
yeah. I mean, yeah. When you go to America, you get much more recognition in RC.
And is
I
he
think
driving
that's what
still
probably,
or Mugen?
He is. Yeah, he's supported by the Italian distributor, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you was just talking about how you believe he's the fastest guy, and he ended up finishing second in this race. I think.
Yeah, I mean Ongaro is obviously the fastest, but I think he's the second fastest in Italy at the moment.
Yeah, Zanchetin had a good race.
He had an okay race, and I think Valente was good in third and Boots, but as I said, this is a local track for them. Barufalo had issues with his pits. So like fuel mileage. So he had to pit at like under 7 minutes, and he still finished fifth. So I guess okay, but and then
Barufalo at this point, Barufalo had 1 foot out the door. So he was both feet out the door at this race, to be honest.
I mean he knew he knew what was happening after this main.
Yeah,
like that was his last time he's running X-ray.
Yeah. Beaker finished in, I want to say ninth. Yeah. And he was not gonna contend with these fast Italians at all.
No,
but he did have a good battle with Richard Widmeyer.
Solid.
I think it's.
Yeah, I think it was solid that he made into the main. It's not a great performance by any means, but it's okay.
Hey, the two happy things. Mao had a car, had his oil beat up Mayako, and Joseph had a newer Mayako, I believe, and they both finished all their races. So and Mal just missed bumping into the final. So good stuff for Mayako. Positive on that. Boots, a surprise. I mean, he's probably turned quite a lot of laps at this track. I would expect him to be at least battling for first at this race.
Yeah, I mean, this race should be an easy win for Boots. Like, this is his home track. So it's very odd to see that that's not the case. I don't know what to explain for that, but to me it's a bit odd. Like, this should be the race where he dominates, but he doesn't. So
but the Italians, man, they're not gonna let him. They're not gonna let English guy come out there and beat him on the track. Not gonna happen. You know? Yeah,
but like I'd say Boots has the most laps of any guys on this track.
But you know what this will do? This is just gonna make Boots needs this because then again he kind of not struggled. When I say he struggled, he didn't have his dominant form that he had in England this year either.
Well, I mean, I don't think he didn't win even one race during the year in the UK.
It's probably just been an off year for him, and getting off those tires. He's got to run T-Pro tires now. You know, obviously.
No, but he was running the Sismic. Exactly. He was running the same tires as everyone else in the UK.
Yeah, so it's just weird. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Maybe
like because it's not like he just suddenly like forgot how to drive. It must be something like something is not clicking. He doesn't have the setup right, or something is not right with his race program where he doesn't get those like top results. He's still competitive, no doubt. He's still up there, but just that he doesn't have that. He can't really compete with Ongaro or Ronefalk or the people he should compete with, really.
Yeah, that's the people that he has to compete with. I would say Canas is the number one S-Works guy at this point. And
for sure. Yeah. I mean, easily.
All right. Lots of testing going on after this race, too. So Joseph sent some video of him not driving, by the way. He cannot go that fast. And so I'm not going to say who that was because, you know, I think there's still ongoing talks of that. But, all right. Well, I think we'll leave the practice thing till we finish up some of these things real quick. We'll talk about that because we have to talk about Marco here at the end. World Classic.
So should we now like say what happened with Marco, that he left X-Ray and he was released just today.
Yeah, but I guess he's finishing up his contractual obligations. But all right, I guess I gotta say, like, what I heard he had what I was told, what he was testing is a Tekno car. So
on Monday at the track.
Yeah, but he's also been testing this for some time. So it looks like Tekno is looking to branch out into the European market, and they're going to use the Madman Marco Barufalo. Again. Yeah, again, they tried with Zenchetten. But I think right now, in stock wise, that Barufalo is definitely faster than Zenchetten. He's probably more known than Zenchetten
for sure. But at the time when they signed Zenchetten, he was at the same level that Barufalo is at now.
Yeah.
And what happened to him? So
I'm hearing it's Tekno. I mean, obviously I heard he was testing it, but he could switch up and go anywhere. To be honest, like I honestly think that he right now, like, that Barufalo has the ball in his court right now. I think for any team that he'll be a great addition. That could be even associated. I think.
I'd say any brand would really want to hire this guy because he's crazy fast. Yes. He's one of the fastest guys out there.
Right.
I think. Well, what I believe, the reason why he left X-Ray is the car or his whatever he gets from them. Mm-hmm. I think the reason is the engine, because he's been, like, even as I said, he didn't even get 730 here at this race where everyone else was getting 730. He's been having flame outs, issues with the engine, and even Ty, almost every race he's gone to this year, he's had a flame out. Mm-hmm. So there's clearly something wrong with the engine, at least for these top guys. And I do believe that's the reason why he left X-Ray.
Yeah.
But hard to call.
I think, I honestly, the way I see this going out is either Tekno or TLR, to be honest. Because
I don't see TLR happening because
Really?
he used to be a TLR.
Yeah, that's true too.
And TLR doesn't have pretty much any presence in Europe anymore. They're all America. So no, I don't see TLR as an option anymore.
But
Because
if he
you
goes
think
to
about
Tekno,
it,
though, I mean, what does it's kind of like, well, like you have Kyle in Australia, but Tekno has a big presence there. You have, if you go Barufalo, there's no real preference. There's no real, not in Europe. In England, there's Tekno guys that run and all that stuff. But to be honest, like Tekno is not big in Europe. In England, they have some guys that run it, and it's big. They're bigger.
It kind of died in Europe during like 2018. When Sanjichin switched to Tekno, they put a lot of effort into Europe. They had Ilias there, all that.
Right.
Well, I guess Ilias is still there now.
Yes.
But so they put a lot of effort into Europe, and it just didn't work out. People, I guess, didn't like the car or whatever the reason was at that time. It didn't work out. I guess there's a better chance of it working out this time because the way Marco drives, but it's hard to call. And
I think
it's hard to say. And the thing is, the hard thing about Europe is the car is not suited for tracks over here. It's okay, and it can do good in America on some tracks, but in Europe it's really not suited. So it'll be very the events. Well, he can be really fast, and it'll be sort of very specific ones if he moves to Tekno. But it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing Tekno is the leader going into this. And
yeah, I mean, if he's driving a Tekno on the track, I would imagine.
Yeah. And I'm hearing,
imagine,
and yeah, and then he's open for engines too, because I also heard that's an issue as well. He wants, he wants to go get more fuel mileage.
I mean,
he needs more fuel mileage. So I think he just can't adjust his throttle finger. It seems so. It's definitely interesting it's interesting. Like, where does he fit into the Tekno team? Obviously, we've been talking about it for many months now, how we feel that they're going to have to slim down, especially the American team at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Tekno can afford all these guys. They have Barufalo, they have McBride, and in America they have Tebow, Bornhorst, Jones, Van Dalen.
I don't think that. I don't think Van Dalen's not getting paid. I think that's one of the issues.
Yeah,
but he might be getting travel help. So
yeah.
I
think Van Dalen is gone from Tekno either way.
Yeah, I think he's pretty gone.
It's really hard to say what's like.
This is not a silly season podcast. We're gonna do that another day. We're just evaluating the.
But I mean, I wonder how they can afford it all.
Yeah, I do too. Because actually, Barufalo is marked on to run AMS, but I did talk to him and he said he's not. So it was just a little bit too. Like, flights were too expensive. So he said he'll be there for DNC. But you know what? I think for him coming to like America, when he comes to America, because he does, this is just going to help him so much. Like, when he gets to America for DNC next year, and if he's with the Tekno or even with the TLR team, he's just going to have support coming. Because he usually just, at these races, he hangs out at the hot race tent. And even that's grown. You know what I mean? So... but I'm sure Tekno will win him with them. So that's gonna be. Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does. But my feelings is like I'm 95% sure that he's going to Tekno. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see a reason why he would be running the car publicly if he isn't going to Tekno.
Yeah. All right.
Because it's not like there weren't people there as well. But I mean, I think he could like Barufalo with his driving style and the Tekno car. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Silver State next year if he attends.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised of anything that madman Marco Barufalo does. All right, we had the Kinwell Classic. Nothing. I mean, I know this used to be a really big race. It was an action hobby. I think like Cavallari went, Rivkin went. Tommy Hines came off the couch and like podiumed in two-wheel drive mod. But just nothing really, like, it's unfortunate. It would be nice to see a race like this that's dedicated to a man who put so much of his time into this to just get a little bit more exposure. Mod was there, so I did get to watch some of it, but it just didn't attract the top names, which it's a shame because races like this should, you know what I mean? But it's so much racing going on too.
I felt that in America, 10 scale has sort of, I don't know if it's just on the top level.
Mod, yes.
No, but I mean, like because it's not like stock has been big for a while. It's not that stock has sort of gotten big this year. It's just that, like, when was the last time you saw Rivkin race 10 scale if you don't count the Rivkin was at this race actually, I think.
He did.
So he's probably one of the only ones. But let's say Mayfield. Last time you saw Mayfield race 10 scale apart from the Nationals.
Yeah, he went to the PDR race. He's going to a race this weekend too. He's not going to mod. He's going to some 10 scale race. But it's like he's just doing these races, I think, out of obligation to fulfill his contract. And
I think Yokomo is out of, like, Mayfield is out of Yokomo.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where he's gonna go.
I don't see him continuing.
I think it's gonna do like an AE deal, but through JC or through One Up. Maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Mayfield has really cared about 10 scale for a while.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Maybe he says I don't need it
that way.
Maybe he says I don't need it, but I think he kind of does. Because that's a was a big chunk, or we know that's a...
Well, it probably is a chunk of his salary, but considering how little big 10 scale races there has been this year, it's like, how many people actually follow the 10 scale nationals? I don't think many, really.
I bet you more people are probably following this mod race, like at Masters of Dark.
Oh yeah, the one happening this week at Beach RC. Yeah, probably actually true. Like the biggest race in 10 scale this year,
all that stuff. So
yeah, like the biggest race in 10 scale this year has been CRC RC race.
Yeah, maybe or
Yeah, you remember when Fend and Riv took each other out and all that?
That was one of the most
that was definitely the
ones.
biggest race in 10 scale this year.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
after that, I mean, there's been some race people at 10, but it's mostly crickets.
Mostly crickets.
In terms of, like, if you think about 8 scale, it's like DNC.
Yeah.
And before even DNC, you had the SIC. So I have SIC, DNC, PMB. Then you go into Silver State. Like, all those are huge races. And after that, you had
Nationals.
You had
then
Nationals
Weekend.
at least.
Wicked Weekend was a little low, and then you had Southern Nationals.
Southern Nationals was big as well.
Yeah.
So now you will have AMS at the end of the year. So, but there's like just a little bit under 10 very big races in 8 scale in America this year.
Yep.
In 10 scale, it's nothing much. Really.
Well, one where the majority of the top guys attend. That's what you mean. There's been plenty of 10 scale races, but not where the competition level that we're seeing on the 8 scale pro side that we're seeing.
Obviously, yeah.
All right.
And I don't know entry-wise, it could be that 10 scale has more entries like every weekend. There's more local racing or something. I don't know. I have no clue.
I think it is. I think it's big on the club scene. But it's stock, man.
10
It's
scale,
stock.
yeah.
It's all stock.
But I don't really care on club level what happens. I mean, companies obviously do and stuff like that. But, like, I don't want to talk about club races on the podcast. Like,
I agree.
Who wants to hear about the club? I want to hear Mayfield battling against Cavalier and Rivkin.
Of course, that's what I want to talk about. Yeah, Tommy Hines came out of nowhere. He looks weird. He's got like a mullet and like this big porn mustache. So he looks like
he looks like a completely different human these days.
Yeah, he looks like he's working.
Well, I probably do too, but
yeah, but he came off the couch and he got a podium. So congratulations to him. And then I think the other drama was after the fact, one of your teammates or AE guy calling out TLR guys for not helping with the track and that started
I read some of the comments. It was pretty hilarious. I don't know what was going on there, like what happened.
I don't know this guy. I don't know who he is, but I just read the comments and then I was like, this guy just called out all the TLR guys. And I said,
and then people took it, like, bit into it, and it was I don't know, grown man acting like children.
Yeah, they were calling for his sponsors to drop this guy and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, Yeah, the same people who complain about cancel culture.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't have said what he said. I don't know. I didn't read into.
I mean, obviously, the whole argument was idiotic from both sides.
I would definitely say that there's
really
an AETLR beef out there, and it's being stoked.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like Mugen Mafia hates everyone as well. In America, there's like these cliques that people form.
I used to be a part of the Mugen Mafia. I know. So, you know, I was all about that Mugen life.
I'm just watching and eating popcorn, dude.
All right. The other big thing that happened this week, that got people talking. I posted about this. Actually, Wally had this up first, so that's where I first saw it. These new shocks, dude. So, let's bring this up because I know we have questions about this, so we might as well just get this out of the way now so we could talk about it. So we have these shocks. Did you listen to the guy's video? We definitely have to help this guy with his video editing and stuff like that. He needs a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does all by himself. Yeah, so I don't really care.
But
yeah, I watched this, but if I'm being honest here, I really didn't have to watch it because I've seen this 10 years ago. For the first time, same design.
So break it down for me as an idiot. I know he wants to adjust on the nut on the top, but just explain how this would work.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually on the Discord I made a very good, very sort of how would you say it? Very like breaking it down explanation about this. I'll find it here so I can explain to you guys as well.
I'm just trying to figure out how adjusting the screw adjusts things. Like, what does the screw turn inside of the?
Yeah. Okay. So you can you zoom in on that picture of the sort of the exploded view?
Let's see.
Don't zoom in too much, but zoom in just enough that we can see the top portion if you can.
You know,
press Control and plus.
See, Control and plus.
All right. Now we're talking. So yeah, this is good. This is good. So. Basically how this works is there's the shock body, which is just a normal type of shock body, and then you insert this tubing. It's number 6 on that sort of chart. You insert that tube into the shock, and inside that tube is the shock piston, and between this tube and the shock body is sort of a fluid that's separated from the other side. You see those seals on the bottom of the below the shock shaft? Those will seal the tube so that the fluid outside of that tube, the fluid inside of the tube, and inside is the piston obviously, will have sort of a different spaces. And the only way the fluid from inside the tube can get to the outside of the tube is through small vent in the shock cap, and the size of this vent will be tuned by the screw. Do you get it now? You're mute.
No, I know. I had to mute it because guys are making a lot of noise outside there. Yes, I get it. It's like a shock within the shock, and then you you allow the flow of oil with that screw. That's it.
Yeah, and basically you have to build it so that. It is, and it adds a lot of weight, and it adds a lot of complexity, and it also reduces the size of the piston. So there's a lot of issues with this design in those terms, but the fact that you can tune it and it still works very much similarly to a regular shock, there really isn't too big of a deficit. But the benefit of this compared to a regular shock is the fact that you can tune it. So you don't have to change the oil or change the piston. You can just tune the valve. It's not exactly the same. You can't get everything that's same out of it, but it's very close. And most likely when you find the right setup, you don't really have to tune it that much. And these will use very thin shock oil. So the good thing about this is you don't actually have to change shock oil as much if the temperature changes. So if you tune it, which works, and you go to a hotter place, you'll be very close to work, and you just kind of have to maybe tune it a little stiffer. But generally, to me, in this design, this exact design with no anything added to this, because if you add stuff to this, you can make this really, really good. But with this exact design, there isn't a huge benefit compared to the normal shocks. You can get it, you can tune it, that's cool, but it's not really worth it. And a lot of the times, the fact that the shock piston is smaller and the diameter of the inner tube is so small, it's the same as going from a big bore shock to a small bore shock, really. So if you think big bore shocks are really good, then like, why would this work then? Those are the things to consider here. It's a good idea, but as I said, we already tried this in 2011 in France. A company called Expert Model brought out Virus 09 shocks with this exact same design. I shared all of this on the Discord. You can go check it out. There's video of the guy building it. It looks exactly the same. It works exactly the same. There's some minor differences, like the sealing is a bit different, and there's a bladder instead of being emulsion type shock, and the cap is slightly different looking, but it works the same way. So that's all I really have to say about this. It's a neat idea. It's been done before. It's not revolutionary. But yeah, I can appreciate stuff like this.
Yeah, and this goes into something that we got asked about last week, I believe, about innovation. And we always hear about innovation and how we want it. Well, innovation comes at a price, and that price is $335.99 for two. I actually would.
Yeah, the price is definitely steep, but I'd say that's not because of the design. It's because of the fact that he's probably doing this with his own machines and stuff. It's not Chinese made. It's made by his own stuff. He has to buy the material in small samples and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really blame him for the prices. I think that's okay.
I think if you want to
even
try
if you
them,
made
you're
regular
gonna buy
shocks,
them. Simple as that. There's all guys out
Yeah.
there that like to tinker and that want to do what would be great would be see these shocks get into your hands or maybe Joseph's hands, to see how they really work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm
on
not
track,
against
yeah.
this. I'm not against this at all. Yeah, the price is steep, but this is one-off stuff.
But I
like, you know what
don't
mean?
think that the reason why I'm not a huge fan of this isn't that they're expensive. The reason why I'm not a huge fan is because I've seen this type of stuff before. So it's not like it's something revolutionary or something very innovative. It's not even too innovative at all because I've seen this before. So that's sort of the issue I have with it. If someone comes up with a shock that's much better than everything else and it's a very complex design, yeah, it's going to cost money and it should be that way. It's unfortunate for people who don't have the money to buy those, but it's like, it's the same thing as saying like my kit cost $800 instead of like $500 or whatever. Like, it's like at some point there will be a range where some people say it's too much and some people say that's fine. And every person has their own range of price and it comes down to how much they care about RC and stuff. And in the end, you're going to spend a lot of money on tires, on travel, all that. So
yeah,
spending
like,
$350 on shocks isn't that crazy.
if they work, people will buy them. That's all that matters. They could be $1,000. People are gonna buy them. People complain about everything that costs.
If you produce these in China, I'd say you could cut the price in half.
Yeah, but then where would the quality be? So
the quality would be close to it.
Yeah.
It's not like the quality will be a lot worse. Really,
they
it's
just
just
have to
that
work.
the thing is, in China, you don't have to pay anyone money for doing this. You pay them $1 a day or something very low, and so the production is much cheaper than if you were to do this in America. I believe this guy has his own machines.
Yes.
So basically, he's working like his time is like his pay. So
yeah.
So
and also
he's obviously not going to pay himself $1 an hour.
Yeah, and it's just they also have to actually significantly work. You know what I mean? It's not just about having they look different and hey, it's something different. Like they have to work and drop seconds, like not seconds, but tenths of seconds off your laps, and you have to be able to prove it on the track. And I honestly think we're not going to see that till we get somebody of a high quality, or even somebody that knows what to look for. You know, some pleb like me isn't going to know what to look for. I'm like, yeah, that worked. Thanks. You know, So I definitely, it's something we need to follow, but we're going in the right direction in certain things. It's just a matter of, everybody looks at the price. Well, anything like this costs money, So
yeah, one thing I actually suggest for this guy is to produce only the shock cap and the tubing for other brands. So you can sell the shock cap, the tube, and the piston, and you can create one for each brand shock body and sell that. So that way people will only have to buy the shock cap. I think the price was somewhere around $100, because in the end, like the shock shaft, the shock body, all that extra stuff, it's like you don't really need that because you already have that with your car. Only thing you need is the piston, the cap, and the inner tube.
Yeah, interesting concept.
Yeah, but I think that will be the best bet for this guy if he wants to make money out of this.
Yeah, there you go. Max gave you an idea. Hit up Max. Hit up the arrogant one. All right, I think that's it for news. We kind of went pretty long on that. We do have quite a few questions this week, so I think we should just go straight into that. Thank you to TNR Fuels and Hitec RC for bringing us the Hitec news. It was a lot to talk about this week. Some weeks will be like that, so it's all good. Now it's time for the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Thank you to Lucas and Brent and everybody at Beach RC for their continued support. We really appreciate this, guys. Good luck to everybody that's going to the Masters of Dirt this weekend. It's turning into one of the biggest 10-scale races on dirt. Check it out. It's going to be, I think Maud's going to be there, so we'll get coverage of that. And I think even Scotty's there, so it's going to be pretty good. And he's got this high jump competition that I like. You have to jump up and go over a bar. I like that.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
you just need to have a good landing so you don't break your stuff.
Yeah. This race is all about fun. They have drinking games and all this type of stuff. So everybody have fun at this race, and hopefully one year I'll get to attend and have the same fun with everybody. So Max, we do have quite a few questions for you this week. Tony Newland of Clinic RC. What's up, Tony? Been telling me some great stories lately. What's Max's take on active rear toe on 8-scale buggy like on sedan? JQ hasn't replied to my text yet and must have got his gears turning. Yeah, JQ probably just saw that and was like, I'll think about that later. And then he'll put it on a car and say, it was my idea. That's JQ.
Well, he actually, that's his sort of MO.
Yeah. That's stupid. That will never work. Oh, that's such a great idea now that I thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard to say because in sedans, even in those cars, it really didn't work to start out with and I believe a lot of them run it so that you don't have active toe. You just have the link there, but effectively it's the same as tuning bump steer. So it's like they tune it so that they have 0 bump steer. I believe. I'm not sure if they use active toe, but they have the possibility to do so. In off-road, the biggest issue there is the fact that there's huge bumps. So the toe is it's sort of iffy. I think if you tried it, you could get it to work, but you would definitely have a bigger benefit if the grip level is stable, there's very little bumps, and it's very smooth overall. Then I believe there's a definite benefit on there, but there's so many other things that you have to think about as well. And if you want to do this, for example, it's almost impossible, at least I haven't found a way to get the hub as low as you would need it to be if you wanted to do this, so that it would be light, so that it will be durable, and you get all the other geometry matching what you really want. So I don't see this being usable in off-road, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the big equalizer in off-road is bumps and hits. In touring car, there isn't many. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and you always
in
obviously
off-road you often,
but, you know,
in off-road you often want to sort of minimize any moving parts and minimize anything sort of active in the car, because of the fact that like if you hit a bump, like the towing will change rapidly during that time. And
you could be bending tire wheels, all this type of stuff. Like, you know, that's when people measure their camber.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if someone comes out with a design and it works, but I don't see myself putting in the effort to make a design like that work. Gotcha. I don't see the gain in that to be enough that I would put the time into doing that. So, and the biggest issue is the fact that you can't get the hub low enough. I haven't found a way to do that so that you still have the in front you would call it the steering sort of axis, or the caster axis, or the kingpin line actually in the front, what you would call it in the C-hub cars, and the drive shaft position. So it's really hard to do so that the height of the hub is correct and you don't have the drive shaft trailing behind or in front, but if you have it in front, that'll be the worst case scenario. So you wouldn't really want to have that.
I know Turner's going to hit me up when he listens to this, and it's going to be like, no, I'm telling you, you could do it this way. And I'll be interested to see his answer.
I hope he has some way, but
yeah.
The hub would need to be somewhere around 12 millimeters from the drive shaft axle, and the bearings must be, and the drive shaft axle is at least 9 millimeters thick. So you really have only 6 millimeters to play with here, and trying to get a ball to fit into that and still have enough range of movement, still have the kingpin axis on the center of the drive shaft, and still have enough durability and all that. I'd be happy to see someone do it. I haven't figured that out yet. I've tried, but I haven't.
Okay, great question. That was like right off the bat, science mode. Right off the bat.
Yeah, well, I thought about this before. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. So yeah, obviously I know.
Edward PXF, Max or Keenan, what do you think JQ is missing or lacking in his race program to get in the top 10 in the pro races? More time on track, a permanent mechanic, or other reason? I actually have a great explanation and what he can do to get better. He can find a time machine, hop in that. He can go back to when he was fast, forget about making a car and making who he is all this time, and focus on just racing. And he might still be a pro at this day. But honestly, I just think JQ is not slow. That is for sure. JQ is faster than...
He's not.
All these people that hate him and talk shit about him, he's probably faster than him, right? The problem
for sure. I always talk about shit about JQ, but it's a joke. Like, I know he's fast. He's like, this is a guy who went to university and TQ'd the Euros without pretty much any sponsorship, really.
Yeah.
Like, he's a talented guy in some sense. He's not the talented guy like Ongaro, but he's a talented guy, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs to do well. So it's not like he's actually bad.
Yeah.
But if you imagine like
so much shit.
Yeah, like he works 12 hours a day on a company and then tries to do RC racing on the side. And he's competing against guys who don't think about anything else than steering a steering wheel or pulling the throttle, really. So it's like, it's dumb to, like, I say this all the time, but I'm joking. I know him. I know how it is to drive. I know how it is to go to university like I'm doing now. We'll go to school, go to work, and try to drive RC at the same time. It's not easy. And if you aren't a crazy talent, someone like Neil Craig who can work and do RC at the same time, or if you aren't like someone, well, I mean, Neil Craig, one of the only really, really fast guys who've done that.
It's hard.
Imagine JQ does that and he has his own company to run. He doesn't just run he doesn't just go to work 8 hours a day. He actually has his own company to run.
I think people like, if look, this is a shameless plug. Go to his YouTube channel or go and sign up for his Invisible Speed course. And he did that in his spirit. He did that in the last few months. Wow. You know, also managing, micromanaging. Like, I don't know how JQ does anything. Like, and the problem, that's a big disconnect that JQ and a lot of people, he thinks everybody should work like him. And that's his autistic superpower. Like, he's able to work and do all that type of stuff and see the big picture. But what suffers is he just doesn't get to the track. And I told Joseph,
it's a strength and a weakness at the same time.
Right. And I told Joseph too on the last podcast, I said, I think if you just stop, and he always wants to control things. So I said, if you stop trying to control everything in your driving, I bet you, and you just let loose and just said, and stop putting so much pressure on him, he'll do better. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing JQ drive and I'm like, oh, that's wow. You know what I mean? Wow, Joseph. And
yeah, I mean,
but
I bet
he's also
even
38
now
years
at
old.
this,
and
no, but I don't think that's a thing. Like, I'd say even at this point, if you get JQ a mechanic, have someone else take care of Mayako and have someone that he doesn't have to worry about doing all the car design or whatever, and he just runs the car. I bet you he can easily make the Euros main and fight for top 5 and stuff like that, and fight in the World's main even.
You're going pretty far there, Max. I'm not giving him that much credit.
No, but I mean, I don't see that being an issue if he actually only focuses on driving and only focuses on that. Right now, what he's doing is he's handling a company, he's developing a car, and every time he goes to race, like even at the Finnish Nationals, all he did was he went to the race and every heat he changed something just to find out how it did. He didn't really care about the race results. Obviously, in the main, he tried to win every time and he really, really tried to win. But like during the race, he always tested stuff. He never had a mechanic, so he always had to like warm up his car, bring it to the pit lane and say someone, hey, you pit me, or he probably like, it was most of the time it was one of the JQ drivers, dads, who pitted for him, but he was driving in the heat before. So JQ would always have to carry the car to the pits and then rush to the driver's stand and then start out on warm-up. Stuff like that messes up with your focus on the race day and all that. So obviously he drives quite a lot, he practices quite a lot, but it's not the same thing as just focusing on driving and all that. And it's a joke to say JQ drives like a grandma is driving in slow-mo. But I mean, it's just that it's a joke. He is these days he isn't as fast as he probably should be because of all that we've said. But it's like he doesn't have a race program. That's why he doesn't do good. You know? Like at this point, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a mechanic. He doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah. I think Joseph's real talent in all of this is design, obviously. But being able to see the big picture. And I hope he's getting to that point where it's like, all right, I'm going to put all my time back into other races and try and, which he does, but he kind of has to put for him to go forward, he would have to put his racing on the background. Kind of like what I did, even though I was nowhere near as good as JQ or ever. Yeah. But I completely stopped racing to focus on team and this and all that stuff because you just can't. He still has to race.
And to me,
he still has to race, but not take it as seriously. Taste it. You race to prepare for your top driver. That's what he needs. He needs a top driver so he can prepare for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's that, like, I don't see if JQ would want to win races at this point, to me, it would be a dumb move. To him, it would be much better to get a fast guy driving for the car and have him do really well. And he just sort of setting up the car, developing all that. It's like, why would he like risk everything just for him to do good? And when he can just like get someone to drive the car who only can focus on driving.
Exactly.
And I think he's realized that now. And I do believe he will have a driver next year that's of level of competing for European championships and stuff like that. So
I believe so too. That's a good question.
I think that's what he should do. And I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Chris Trudeau, are European drivers at an advantage when it comes to track setups, given that their exposure to multi-surface types of tracks they race on, such as the 2014 Worlds in Italy? But he says because it had Astro and cobblestone, but he says the range of surfaces seem to be across the board. The variety of surface types in Europe seems higher than the US, where it seems 8-scale tracks are either higher-ish grip and small pin or loose and somewhat loamy and blow out quickly. Does the perfect track exist, or which track does Max or you, or myself, sorry, I got confused, or JQ, but he's not her, feel demonstrates 8-scale racing at its finest? Ooh, that's a good fucking question right there. What track itemizes for you? It puts everything in 8-scale racing in one.
I don't think there's one track. I think there's two, and those are very different. One track is, let's say, Thunder Alley at RCGP without the wall. Mm-hmm. That's almost a perfect track. Something like that. That's the perfect sort of, obviously watered in America. Mm-hmm. Something like SMB when I was there in 2019. It was Joey's layout. The dirt is, that perfectly sort of, they perfectly symbolize how Supercross is. And I think that's one of the perfect type of tracks that you can have. Tracks like LCRC or PNB or Silver State, yeah, they are cool, but it's not like
LCRC didn't blow up.
It's not that cool.
I know what you're trying to get at.
No, I mean LCRC didn't blow out, neither did PNB, but like Silver State blew out. But like what I mean is like those are cool type of tracks,
right?
But it's not like the same. Thunder Rally is at least how it was at RCGP. It's slightly bumpy. It has bumps. It's not blown out.
Right, and it has that.
It
elevation.
Has technical jumps. It has elevation. It has that sort of loamy dirt that you can have some like nice roost out of, and it's not dusty. It's not sort of they still have a clear racing line.
Right. Yeah.
That sort of feel is perfect. When Thunder Rally dries out, it's not that good in my opinion. But when it's wet and doing nighttime, especially, Thunder Rally is really cool, and especially if it's a good layout, it definitely is. Then another type of track which I feel is perfect. That's much harder to say. Really, like a perfect European style track. But I'd say something like, man, this is really hard. I mean, in Europe, there's so much. It's so much like.
I'm a Redovan fan, even though I've never been there. But I just love.
I wanted to say Redovan, but I think that's a bit too extreme in terms of size.
Yeah, it's just that's the only thing. It's just too big. But I like that.
Yeah.
So
something like Montpellier would be cool, but the grip level there is a bit odd.
I don't think I have a perfect track. I may have a mixture of tracks.
I mean, I really liked Redovan the last time we were there for Neo Buggy 2018. But the issue is just that it's so big that I can't really say that's a perfect track. I feel it's a bit too big.
I'll be honest with you, but I really enjoy the Buggy Land track, the layout of it.
Yeah, that could be one of those.
I really enjoy going up the mountain, back down the mountain, back up the mountain again. I have to agree on Thunder Alley.
I know one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Barco in Italy. I don't think it exists anymore, but it's a track that hosted the BT contest, and that sort of it's all based on sort of corner speed. It's all based on like it's smooth. It has some like roughness in the track. It has nice jumps, but nothing too crazy. It has sort of elevation a bit, and it's just like flows so perfect. So I think that would be the like perfect European track. But there's so much variety in Europe. Tracks in France are completely different to tracks in Spain.
Best track demonstrates 8-scale racing. All right. So for me, I do like a little bit of air. So I like to see cars jumping because I think that gets spectators in. But I also like to see corner speed and guys racing. I actually really like the multi-surface of the Spanish race that we just looked at. You know what I mean? I really like that they had.
But to me, I agree with you. But I think the issue is like these days those tracks have a little bit too much grip. To my
I would agree with you there. But
to
take
me,
some of those
like
features
it's
out of
essential
that. And add some American features to it, like bigger jumps, maybe like some 6-packs and stuff like that. And then also have that section like where you need corner speed and all that stuff, because it's true. Like you heard Greg always say, or somebody say, an American track is a 180 jumps, maybe a 90, stuff like that. It's very supercross. That's just how American tracks are. That's fine. But I like to see a little mix of I would prefer to see some corner speed too as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think to me there's a few different types of 8-scale racing, and European and American is very different. So I would have to say like that Thunder Alley perfectly describes to me what's a perfect American style track. In Europe it's much harder to say. Yeah. Every country is so different. So I really wouldn't do a mix, because I think the features that they do in America really fit for that surface, and the features that we do in Europe really fit for our surfaces. So I think it's sort of impossible to do a combination and say that's perfect. Yeah, that would probably represent 8-scale on all platforms, but that track would probably not be that good. I think you should have to separate them a bit.
I'm for whatever track. I'm for whatever track produces exciting racing for people to watch. That's what I'm for.
Yeah, to me, what I really like about 8-scale is the fact that you can have such different racing. To me, 8-scale represents something like rallying, where you have gravel rallies, you have tarmac rallies, and you have rallies where it's like tarmac with a lot of dust on it. I think 8-scale is just that. It's sort of, it can be high grip, it can be low grip, it can be almost anything in between. And I think there isn't really one type of track that can represent 8-scale what it is. I think it needs to be sort of all of that. And that's why I think it's good that worlds have been in such different style tracks in the past. I would like to see, Vegas was very American style, but I think it was a bit too blown out. But I think that always happens at worlds. So, like, if you think of the last Worlds, we had an Australian track, which is sort of a mix between Europe and America. With it has jumps, but it still has corner speed. It has the grip level isn't too crazy. It's sort of in between Europe and America. Then before that, you had America, like a fully American track, and before that, like a fully like old school European track, very high grip, sort of. Old layout, multi-surface, not too crazy jumps, but sort of very technical small parts on the track, but still very high speed. So I think the way the worlds have gone so far have been very good. But the issue is, in my opinion, that like to say like what is the best track, it's to me impossible to say. Obviously, none of these world tracks to me were very good, but they very well represented the region, in my opinion.
Well, I can't wait for next year at Redavon, the Worlds. So, all good. Great question. But as Greg Degani says, the Europeans they know corner speed, and we don't in America. That's why he says that people should race on road. All right, next question is from Jeff Werner, a.k.a. The Coach. What's up, Coach? How you doing? Because I know Max has always dabbled with aerodynamic additions to his car bodies. Has been working on that or anything new in that area?
Yeah, I'll try to make a body for next year. Basically, same idea, what I'm doing now, but just improve it. I'd really like to do a rear wing and sort of front end shock tower / front wing thing, but that will require sort of injection molding, which is impossible to me to do. So I'll probably do a new front wing, and I just need to finish the mold for the body shell. I mean, I won't need it until next spring, so it'll take until then. Nothing major. I think the style of the body I'm running right now, in terms of what's actually happening, all the winglets I put on, like the style of the body and the outer shape of the body is very close to what I believe is the best, unless you want to do something very dramatic, which then you would have to change chassis, you would have to change wing, you have to change front end, sort of everything around it. I don't see that being worth it, and I personally, I can't really do that. I don't have the resources to do that. So yeah, for now, probably a new body, but it will just be optimized version of what I have now.
Awesome. Mike Scorchy, when are you going to get Crime Matthew Gonzalez on the podcast? When he bumps up to mod full time and runs Nitro and brings me some tacos at DNC, that's when I'll have him on. You got that, Crime? No more stock, and Nitro is the future. Joseph, in my best Joseph voice. Nathan Genda, what effect does it make when moving the entire arm in for toe versus just changing the hub angle for toe in the rear?
Yeah, so I think I've explained this somewhere beforehand, but pretty much what I always felt is when you move the arm, it's sort of like when you move the arm half degrees, sort of more toe in, it feels the same as if you would move the hub 1 degrees. I don't really know why that is. It must be due to like friction in the arm or something about the arm. Well, okay. One thing that happens is if you move the arm, it shortens the wheelbase. But I've at least at some times when I've done it, I've corrected to this. So I don't believe that's the whole thing. But one thing that's very sort of big factors is if you move it from the inside and you add a toe in, you will reduce the wheelbase. You will have a shorter wheelbase from the rear. And if you do it from the hub, that isn't affected. Personally, I kind of like to do it from the arm. I don't see a benefit to doing it from the hub. I tried it a lot with the JQ. I was running 1 degree inboard toe in and half degree outboard, and I was running 1.5 inboard and all that. So yeah, I kind of don't see a reason to use the outboard toe in that much. It can add some more feel to the rear end. It can add sort of more trust in the rear end, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. You can play around with it, but I don't see a major like difference. I'd use just inboard toe in.
Okay, Evan Osborne. Actually, he wanted to ask you about the eliminator shocks. He actually had the same question. The only thing I was wondering about is the very small diameter of the pistons in the inner body compared to current designs and how it would affect it. We talked about that, but Max actually brought that exact subject up. Edward PXF again.
I actually want to add something.
Sorry.
I don't mind actually reducing the shock size. I would believe that a 14 millimeter shock you would get it to work almost as well as the 16 millimeter one, and you would save a lot of weight. But I haven't tried it recently, so I wouldn't know. And but I wouldn't see that as a major issue. But this is very, very small, so it would be bigger. But I wouldn't say that's the downs. Like that's not the downfall of the shock design, really. Well, there's nothing downfall of the shock design really, but it's
that's where you have
it definitely doesn't
skepticism.
add anything. Yeah, I have skepticism about that. Let's put it that way. That's the best description.
Yeah. Edward PXF, he says, what's a good choice of tire for a multi-surface RC track? Are we racing on a track that has cobblestone, wood, loamy dirt, and some astroturf? I believe he's racing on that Ireland track where Bradley always races. Bradley Beard. Remember, you know that track where they have the paddy piston?
Yeah, I'm not aware.
Yeah, they have the paddy piston race there, and it's got like it's cobblestone. Okay. It's actually a very nice track. I believe he's racing there. I have no idea what tire you would run there.
If it's AstroTurf, you want to choose a bigger pin. Smaller pin tires always.
It's got dirt too.
But if it's like dirt with AstroTurf, try to find a tire like, let's say, AKA Impact or Proline Blockade instead of gridirons and suppressors, because if AstroTurf is just for jumps, then don't even take the AstroTurf into account. If it's in more than one or two corners in the track, especially if it's on a fast corner, then you would have to take the AstroTurf into account. Every time, the bigger the pin and the bigger sort of the gaps between the pins, that way you will always have more grip on carpet surfaces and AstroTurf and stuff like that. The smaller the pin, usually, if you can run a small pin tire, it's usually always the best on dirt. So that's sort of the problem here, where you want to balance out the smallest possible pin tire on dirt that still obviously lasts and you can run it, that still has enough grip on the AstroTurf. And oftentimes in Finland, there's a lot of tracks where they have a lot of AstroTurf on it. Oftentimes it would be faster to run a tire that was worse on the dirt, but because it has so much more grip on the AstroTurf, you would lose much less. So like there was this track where there was one sort of long, very slow speed corner, but you needed a good drive out of it, that you could easily lose 2 to 3 tenths if you had the wrong tire. You tried small pin tires, and then you tried, let's say, AK Impact, because I was running AK at the time when the track had this corner. The impacts would be a little bit worse elsewhere, but would be much better on the AstroTurf, and you would have fast lap times because of that.
Okay. Cool. Well, good luck at that race. Yeah. That's a very unique track. I remember looking at it.
For cobblestone and stuff like that, I don't know. Like it's the thing is that those are so different. Like you have a few different types of dirt, you have a few different types of AstroTurf, but like we have like cobblestones, it's not on every track, so you don't really have anything to base it off of. You just, if you feel like your car slipper somewhere, then try something else. But
you just gotta go work through it on that section. That's it. It ain't no tire gonna stop it. You just gotta work through it.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. I wish you all the luck. Danny Fergasso, will you be at the AMA Manufacturers Cup? No, I will not. But it's always been a race that I've always wanted to go to. I like the format. I like how they do it. I love the tracks that the person builds up there. Michael Woods, what's up, Mike? Hope you're feeling better. Seems JQ is different. Is he on his medication? He's just joking. I just wanted to comment that adding Max has been awesome, and his perspective and views are great. So thank you for that. Likes what you say, Max. Thank you, Max.
Yeah, positive feedback.
My boy,
I get a lot of negative.
Yeah, arrogant Max. That's what happens when you got a name like arrogant Max. GF Rami, what's up, G Spec? My boy is running JQ. Excuse me. Considering the current state of Raw, should it be divided into two, an on-road and off-road division? That way there could be separate regional presidents for each division to better oversee and promote their division. Thanks, buddy. I actually think it should be.
We aren't big enough. I don't think it should.
I just think that on-road benefits off-road dollars.
In America, it's a different story because it really is that way. That on-road, like a lot of the guys in there are on-road guys, and most of the guys bringing the money are off-road guys. Mm-hmm. So the balance is a bit off. But in EFRA, I don't see that as really an issue because it's very balanced. People run on-road, people run off-road.
I agree there.
At one point, ETS was the biggest series in Europe. So it's not like touring has been small in Europe. Well, now it's a bit smaller, but touring is still big in Europe. So an on-road in general is much bigger in Europe. So I personally, in America, probably would be better for off-road guys, but I don't see, like, we are so small, like, let's not divide us even more.
I think it has to be. I think it has to be because it's just too much on-road bias stuff in Raw. And
I'll change the people then.
Well, that's the problem we're trying to do. That's what we want to do. I just think that the on-road, like the other big money draw is actually the on-road nationals for fuel nationals, but it's still lower than the 8-scale off-road nationals.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think there's too many on-road guys in there making off-road decisions, and
I'd put it this way. sort of divide the people who are responsible for stuff. Everything is under RAW, but have an off-road president, have an on-road president, and they sort of do whatever they want. And then the budget is sort of planned out across everyone. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best solution you can have. I think that's what should happen in EFRA as well. To me, it's a bit weird that there's one president and then, well, okay, I must admit, I'm not 100% familiar with if there is someone responsible for purely off-road in EFRA and if he does like actually put any effort into it.
I'm sure there is.
At the moment, it looks like Javier is doing almost everything in sense of like what's planned for the future. I haven't been in the meetings. I don't know what happens, but to me, it would be better if there was a direct guy who led every class and actually put a lot of effort into it. In America, this is much more possible because of the attitude of people. In Europe, it's much harder to do because people want to have a committee to do everything. So I think in America, this could work out much better.
Javier and EFRA, the Extra Lap podcast had him on last week. And it was actually a good chat. I enjoyed it. Check them out. Extra Lap podcast, Aiden, Martin, and Joey over there in England. It was a great chat with Javier. Go for it, Gio. Run from Raw, man. We need people like you in there. Adam Reevy, sticks or wheels? I drive a wheel, but sticks seem to be a lot more sensitive and capable of smaller movements. Probably for smaller hands. I know that's why Little Bump runs a stick because he couldn't use a pistol grip. I used to drive stick. My radio, yeah, his hands couldn't manipulate it, so he runs stick.
Wow.
I don't think I could. I tried to fly like for me, sticks. I thought maybe that might be an option, but it's just not. I would have to sit down to be able to do that. I'm always just gonna have a wheel. I try it or be like JB. JB thought that driving stick radio at Fallbrook was gonna make him faster. Well, it made him a whole 28 seconds off the pace faster, and he would not change it. He would not change his. I'd not forget. It was like, JB, just go back to the brand new spanking M17. No, I'm using this clapped out radio that I just got because I want a stick radio because Elliot Boots says it's better. I was like, oh my gosh. I just say try it. I think it's something that you just get used to. You know, like Ongaro first had a stick controller. Boots first had a stick controller. So they liked it. And
that's actually not true. Boots started out with a wheel radio.
Oh, really? Okay, so he did adapt.
He drove it for at least a year or 2 years and then switched to stick.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe for your son, Adam, it might help him out with smaller movements, smaller hands and all that stuff.
Yeah, personally to me, you can do a lot of the same. Like each one has their benefits. I just driving a stick radio is much more sensitive. Driving a wheel radio, it's much more sort of forgiven. So that's the major difference between them. In the end, the result isn't that much different. If you drive very aggressively, I'd suggest go to a stick radio. Or let's put it this way. If you want to make a lot of movements on the car, drive a stick radio. But if you want to drive the car around the track nicely, I'd say you're better off with wheel radio. Ongaro does so much movements. Boots does the same thing. And Boots I've seen Boots drive with a wheel radio. He's actually almost as good with the wheel as he is with the stick. So it's not like he doesn't know how to drive a wheel radio. But I've seen him drive a wheel radio and he does a lot of the same stuff he does on the sticks, but it doesn't look like it on track because the wheel sort of doesn't get all those movements in. And same with the throttle, like the trigger or the lever of the throttle. So I don't know. To me, I would go with the wheel because that's the more common option. It's much easier to get new radios and all that.
Try it out. Let us know what you think.
But if it's the case that if it's a kid driving and he actually can't grip the radio, then yeah, obviously then.
Well, I was thinking maybe he wants this for his son, but he might not. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. We got a few more questions here. Joshua Green, please allow Mr. Arrogant to go full science mode on this one. Explain in the importance of drivetrain, friction, or mechanical bind.
I made a full video about this, I think.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I can go into it, but it's a bit draining for everyone.
Hey, do it real quick because we have a few more questions to get
Yeah, but if you want to find sort of an explanation about this, go to my. You can find this on the part 2 of the differentials video, I believe, and you can also find some topic and like the big video about exactly drive shaft friction is, I think episode. I'd like to say 13 or 14. It's called Drive Shafts. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's on the series From the Ground Up. You can find the playlist. I've linked it on my Facebook page just today, and all that. So if you want to look at that video, please go check that out. That goes almost through all of it. I missed some parts of it, but I get through all the important stuff about it. But basically, to be quick here, when you put on power, having more friction in the drive shafts will stiffen up the suspension because they want to stick to being straight. They don't want to sort of bend around the joints. So let's imagine you have a lot of angle on your drive shaft and you go on power, it stiffens up the car. But please remember that if you put the hub forward, you will also shorten the wheelbase, which will make your car squat more. So even if the drive shaft stiffens up your car, the sort of support lever of the rear wheels will still squat the car more. So realistically, if you are not the designer of the car, you really can't do this. It's sort of the car comes with what it comes with, and that's it. Then I'd say like CVD versus universals. CVDs produce a much more friction. They produce this sort of stiff motion in the car much more. What this ends up doing is on power, the car feels stiffer. You will have better corner speed. But when you go over bumps, especially on slow speed and on power, universal will be much better because they allow the suspension to move up more freely. Then the wear, how the wear affects it. On the outdrives, for example, if they wear out a bit, you will have more friction in them, which means that you will get that sort of, you get more corner speed, you will get less drive because of the play, but you will get sort of better feel on the throttle. Especially like when you go into corners and stuff, the car is moving around much less and you get better feel on the throttle. When you have new drive shaft, there's not a lot of friction in them because they are like brand new, so they're polished surface and all that. So when you go into a corner, the car wants to squat a lot, even if you go on power. And you oftentimes want to stiffen up the shock collar and stuff like that, but that's going to make the car worse off power then. So that's why friction in the drive shaft is actually really important. And comparing CVDs to universals, it has a pretty huge effect, especially on bumps, but everywhere as well.
Watch Max's episode on that and get the full.
Yeah, that goes into more in depth and explains all like the aspects of it. I scrapped through a few of them, the most important ones really.
The full Monty. All right, Cole Matt Harford. I had a question for JQ. If I were to buy a membership to Mayako, is there a limited number of cars I could buy since there will be a limited number produced? Thanks and take care. I think they were limited prototypes. I don't think they're making a limited amount of cars. I think anybody can join.
I understand that it will be limited amount of cars just because of the fact that they can produce these to...
okay.
Because the only way to buy the car is to buy a car for yourself. So you specialize the car for yourself. It's like Silicon Valley stuff here. You buy it on the Mayako website and you specialize the car for yourself and you get exactly those roll bars, those hubs, those springs, everything, what you want to have on the car. You get your personal engraving and all that. You don't have to be a member for that. That's for everyone, I believe. And
well, I think he was asking about the number of cars you could buy.
That's what he told me.
I know a few guys have bought 2 right off the bat because they just...
you can buy multiple cars.
Yeah.
That's fine.
that's part of the membership. Gives you
but I think they will produce it. I think as I understand from Joseph and what his initial ideas were, was that they would produce a certain amount so they know what type of cars they'll produce, they know who they're producing it to, and all that type of stuff. So you really can't buy the car mid-season. And the idea, at least what I understand, the idea of Mayako the idea of this is to keep people sort of on board. It's not like a regular sort of you buy the car and you would do whatever with it. You buy a service or you buy a team sort of experience in a sense. If you're not a member, you don't take part in that. But if you are a member, you sort of, that's why you pay for the membership.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. If you really wanted to get some more information, you could hit up Mike Walker, Tony Scarcella, or Scott Walker. I'm really not involved in that part of things, so I can't give you any real answers on that. We have a couple of questions about Mayako.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't say I know anything. Right. This is just what the plan was like initially when Mayako was being done. Yeah,
no worries. I'm not too sure about that, but hit them up. I know they didn't sell out completely of prototypes, so it might be able to get in now with that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but definitely the production.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the production run starts next year, so I don't think.
I think like to people who ask questions like this, if I was someone who was just having fun in RC, and I was interested in the Mayako car, but I didn't want to commit to it, I would personally, this is only my opinion, say that it's not really worth it. Obviously, it's this is not about the car isn't worth it. This is about sort of Mayako, to me, what it should be, what I thought it probably will be. It's more than just a car. It's sort of like all of that together. So yeah, I think that's the way it's going. And like, if you are on the fence of it, like asking like that type of stuff, it's definitely not going to get easier when you get the car. I'm telling you that.
I just think you just have to believe in what's going on, and you do it or you don't. Like, I think that's kind of how.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people just
like, I think this is sort of this business model that Mayako is doing is a model that you kind of have to commit to, and you get a lot out of it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't commit, you don't get almost anything out of it. Yeah. Whereas like the regular more old school brands, the business model is we sell your stuff, you buy the stuff, and that's it. And that's the end of it. So sort of.
Yeah.
And
the pyramid scheme.
For some people, no, that's a different model. Okay. That's the sponsorship model.
Just like, if you really want more information on that, maybe I'll ask JQ next month. He'll be on next week. I don't know really how that works. When anybody has any questions like that, I just kind of pass it off to the guys that know. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's just my rule in that. And then we have a couple of questions. When has anybody received the Mayakos? Nope, nobody's received them yet. And when will they be available in Europe? Next year, I guess. So hopefully people get theirs. I know I want mine soon. Matthew Parsi, what's up, Matt? How is Jack doing? That's Team Parsi down in Australia. Very nice father-son team. Very good people running JQ. I have a lot of love for him and his son. Jack's definitely getting faster as well. What will raising the upper link on the hub do? What will raising the rear upper link on the hub but not raising it on the tower do? And when could this potentially be an option?
Well, this raises the roll center, raising on the hub and staying same on the tower, right? That was what he asked.
Yeah, let me see again. Yeah. Raising the rear upper link on the hub, but not raising it on the tower.
Yeah. Okay, so basically what you're doing here, you are raising the roll center here, which means that your car sort of, well, if you watch the Invisible Speed or my roll center explanation video, which is free and on YouTube at From the Ground Up playlist, you can find it. Or if you want to pay $350 and look at JK's videos, you can do that as well.
I think he might have this though already on there. Like links. He might have done links or something. A link video.
He did Jack in Force, but it's a bit different thing.
Okay.
But basically what you do with this, you raise the roll center, it stiffens up the car, but actually what it's doing, it's sort of it's putting more force on the outer tire more quickly. Less force through the shock. So you will reduce roll in the car, And on top of that, what you will have is as the link is higher on the hub, the sort of the angle change of the, how do you put it? When the car rolls into a corner, the angle of the tire doesn't change as much. So the angle of the tire stays more stood up. This means that your car will be more, a bit more calm. It will sort of calm down the car, but it will also mean that you might lose some grip, but you will gain in sort of comfort in the car. So personally, like this as an individual change on the car isn't really a key thing to know what it does, because if your roll center is set correctly and your car rolls nicely and you just want to raise the link altogether, that to me is a pretty good tuning option. If you raise the whole link from the inside and the outside, you get more confident in the car without affecting, well, you will slightly affect the roll center, but the effect on roll center will be very small compared to what you would do, what you're doing here. So you will get sort of the comfort effect that way. And if you go down, you will get sort of the stiffness and the slightly added grip effect on the car, and the angle change on the tire will be sort of a bit quicker if you have the link lower on the hub. But if you keep the link lower as well, then the roll center change won't be affected as much. So this is something that you sort of have to know you have to watch the camber gain video, you have to watch the roll center video, and you have to know how the links work in there to sort of understand the whole thing. Because if your roll center is too low and you raise the link on the hub, your car might be better because the angle change on the tire isn't as aggressive, and you get comfort. Or your car might be better because of the roll center is too low, and now you raise the roll centers. Now it's about there where it should be. So like you kind of need to know where you're at to start out with before you make changes like this. And it's very complicated unless you sort of know where you are. When you know where you are, it's not very complicated anymore.
Yeah, you just complicated my life with that answer. So, because you ran into certain size mode, and when you do that,
yeah,
I blank out. It's funny because
I was getting to understand concepts like this. It's visual. You really have to
probably should have had your video up on
and watch JQ's videos.
Yeah, we probably should have your video.
Yeah, my videos explain these pretty well as well. But I try to keep it so that people can still grasp what's going on, and I don't want to make it so that it's like 30 minutes long. And I don't have the time. JQ, that's why JQ's courses cost money, because he spent a lot of time to do it.
Hey man, if you make it that I can understand it, then anybody can. That's your litmus test. If Lefty can understand it, then anybody can.
I mean, then I can't really explain anything about RC cars.
All right, we have one more question, and it's from our Instagram question. If you ain't following us on Instagram, please do. We also have a TikTok, YouTube channel, and all that good stuff. So follow us there and give us some subs.
We have a TikTok?
Yeah, we have a TikTok. You mean checking out my TikTok videos? Yeah, man.
I don't have TikTok. I don't want Chinese spying on me.
Well, I'll tell you what, it definitely does get addictive. I've found myself spending like an hour just flicking through it.
Yeah.
Checkered Past 503. Does Max have a preferred European track or favorite European track? We kind of went over that. So
we kind of did. I'd say Barco in Italy. But it doesn't exist anymore.
This is a good question, but I'm going to add something to this. He asked, what is on his bucket list of tracks to visit? And I would put into that, what even tracks that don't exist anymore?
Yeah, okay. This is actually a good question. Tracks that don't exist anymore.
No, that was my added twist to the question. He said, what's your bucket list track?
Yeah.
Put one that's existing now, and then put one that you probably would have liked to have visited back in the day.
Dang, I mean, I visited almost all the tracks I really like. Well, I'd say Montpellier. I'm not eager to go there, for the track, but I want to attend the event at least at some point in my life. I had a chance to run at Neo. I ran at like Redovan and.
Did you run at Neo in
Yeah,
England?
the actual Neo, like the
Okay.
yeah. So luckily, it was the last one. Luckily I went that year.
You've done a lot for 19 years old, right? RC wise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, huge thanks to Joseph and my parents for that.
You've done a lot of. Come to think of it, you've done pretty much all the. You haven't done like a U.S. Nationals. You haven't done like a Silver State, but you've done quite a few races.
I want to do. I would like from races that don't exist anymore, like the old school Silver State, something like that would be cool. Like some the tracks like Degani always talks about, something like that.
I would like people
because that's so crazy. Like I would have probably enjoy it, but I would just like to be there and say I was there.
It's like we always talk about Hemet. Hemet was so cool, and it was so small.
Yeah, I've never seen how it was. But
it was so small, and then when you get there, you're like, "This is Hemet." Like, is this small little track? This is what everybody raves about.
But if you think about it, I've actually attended almost like all the cool tracks that I think were nice and cool to attend. Like I've been to DNC, I've been to PNB, I've been to Manila.
You've been Thunder Alley, you've been Santa Barbara,
Thunder
you've been
Alley.
JBRL, you've done, you've been to Proline, you've been to Rev, you've been to a lot of the iconic races. You've been to PNB.
I've never been to Rev actually,
but
that's not like. I guess that would be something like I could say I've been to Rev, but I haven't thought that Rev was a cool track in a long time, really.
It's convenient. That's why people like it.
Yeah, let's put it that way. It's convenient. Dude, like there really isn't a track I would really, really wish to go to.
Well, I want to go to Redovan, and if I could go to any track from any time right now, I would go to the 2010 Worlds in Thailand.
That was one I thought about, but I don't really like tracks like that.
I'm not worried about the track.
I could say like
I want to go to the event.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Like like events, yeah, obviously I would like to attend an old Silver State, old DNC, like very old DNC, and I would like to attend like Pattaya Worlds, 2006 Worlds in Indonesia, something like that. I would like to attend. Why not the Worlds in Charlotte? I didn't really like the track.
I like the track in Charlotte. I raced, well, not on that particular one, but I raced on that track.
Yeah.
And it was probably at that time the biggest track I'd ever raced on, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah. To me, really, there isn't like a bucket list track that still exists today.
All of them. I just want to go to all of them. There we go.
Dude, is my RC career over now? I don't really want to go to any track anymore.
Well,
I don't have my bucket list is full.
Greg had a question for you guys. How does it feel now that you're never going to travel out of Finland to race RC cars again? I don't think that affects you.
I can travel out of Finland.
He just thinks you're right. You know how Greg is. He's just teasing you. Yeah, I don't know, man. For me personally, though, honestly, I would love to. I've been to 2 nationals. That was 2 bucket lists, two races off my list that I wanted to go to. I would love to go to a Euros. I would love to go to a Worlds. And I would love one day go to an on-road Worlds. Like, you know what I mean? Like a Nitro on-road Worlds. And boat racing.
There's a lot of cool on-road tracks in the world.
And boat racing. Lots of stuff I want to do. I am rejuvenated to do a whole bunch of RC stuff. Just my budget isn't. So, so anybody who wants to, send me some RC stuff to do some stuff, cool stuff with, I'll send you my email. I'll send you my mailing address. It's in Miami. Don't cost that much. All right. I think that we had quite a lot of questions, dude. People are liking your answers. We're probably going to be, as part of our revamping, we're going to be able to dedicate a little bit more time to these in 2022. So that's good. Thank you to everybody for sending us questions for the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A. Good luck to everybody attending Masters of Dirt this weekend. I hope Aiden Horn wins everything. And we're going to get Aiden on her to have a stock versus mod, a mod versus stock debate.
So you're going to have one of the top racers in America, and you're going to have some guy with a pink pinion argue against each other?
Because it's so much fun. Like Larry like Joey is like the pink pinion crusader, and he can probably bring a guest on. He might do Aiden and you or something. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, good
I
luck
don't
to
care
everybody.
about pink pinions.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a pink pinion, don't talk to me. Talk to the hand.
But you know, that's a whole different rant altogether. I just think it's going to be a great race, and I think you know, kudos to Brent and the Beach RC crew for what they do. And remember, guys, we have an affiliate link for them. If you guys can go to that affiliate link and use that, it helps us out a lot, and you know, shows that we're doing our job. Max, I think we're going to go on to the main interview with the Turkish German 15-year-old who looks like he's 21, Berkan Kilic. Talks like he's 21 too. It was actually a great chat with him. I hope you guys enjoy it.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to Burak. I can't wait to meet him and his all of them, like, you know, the whole family one day. Enjoy the interview with Berkan Kilic, and thank you to Tekno RC for their support. And Max, I'll see you back for our conclusion.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.teknorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Tekno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Tekno Takeover.
Joining me this week is the younger half of a very dynamic duo that are known as the Killic Brothers.
Yeah,
Killic Brothers. If you guys, we've talked about them a lot on the podcast. You have Burak Kilic, he isn't here with us today, but we have the younger brother Berkan, who finished third this a week ago at the Buggyland race. Congratulations on that.
Yep.
Welcome
Thanks
to
a
the
lot.
podcast. We kind of met each other on Instagram. Yeah, because I got your
That's
age
true.
wrong.
Yeah, I said you thought I was like 17, but I'm actually 15, so I corrected that, and yeah.
Dude, you do not sound like a 15-year-old. You don't even look like a 15-year-old. So I'm sure you
With
get
a lot of beard, so
Hey, when I was 15, I had a full beard too. Don't worry. So, welcome to the podcast. Joseph said you guys enjoy the podcast too, so I'm happy. You know, you enjoy our rants, which is great because I like ranting at Joseph. Congratulations on the third place this past weekend. It was a rough race. I didn't get to see much of it, but I was watching the scoring, and beautiful track. I love that track. It really is a great track. Like, you go up a mountain and come back down and go back up. Like, you go up a hill, come back down, go back up a hill, come back down. Really great track. That guy built some amazing, beautiful tracks. Unfortunately, we did not get to see much of the race because you had some issues that I didn't know about till you told me and whatnot. But welcome to the podcast. I want people to get to know you. Let's talk about you a little bit. So you are 15 years old. You live in Germany. What part of Germany do you live in?
in the north, in the near from Hamburg. It's called Bremen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty chilled out here, and yeah.
Yeah, and you are of Turkish descent. Like, your parents are from Turkey, your dad and your mom. So you guys immigrated to Germany. Well, you was born in Germany.
My dad immigrated from Turkey, and my mom is born in Germany, but she's Turkish. So yeah, I'm full Turkish.
All right. So how old is Burak?
Burak is 17 years old.
Wow, you guys are still so young.
Yeah.
You guys are so young, but it feels like you've been in RC forever.
Yeah, the thing is, my first German national final was with 9 years old.
Oh, really?
And also in the final was Neumann, Reckwart, and it was like all the big guns. And then I was like with my 9 years old on I don't know, but it was super nice. And also Burak, he was 11 there. And we were both in the final. And I finished 6th and he 4th. And I landed before Reckwart, and it was so nice for me.
Oh, because Reckwart
with 9 years old.
Yeah, Reckwart is that's another person I'd like to get on here and talk to. He's a legend. And
he's a legend and a super nice guy.
Yeah. I think you're the first guy from Germany, like a German racer, that I've had on the podcast. So congratulations.
Thanks. Also the first Turkish one, so
that too. All right. So I'd like to find out how this all started for you. How did you guys get interested? I mean, obviously it's you and your brother because it both happened, I assume, at the same time. But how did you guys discover RC? How did this journey start for you?
My dad saw some guys driving a SC car on the what's called. I can wait 1 second.
Remember, guys, English is his second language, so he's a little bit nervous. He's got to do some Google translating her.
You know where the car stands?
Oh, on the driver's stand?
No, 1 second. The translator needs to help me sometimes. Parking spot.
Oh, parking lot. Okay,
yeah,
got you.
My dad saw some guys who driving their SC car on the parking spot, and then he also buys some SC cars, drove on the parking spot, and some guy asked, there are races. So my dad went to the first race with, I guess, 70 people, and he won it, the first race.
So this was on-road or off-road?
No, off-road.
Oh, so
off-road.
They raced in a parking lot and off-road?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was 1995.
Okay.
Something. And he won the race. It was super crazy.
No way.
With 70 people. It was, and then then he raced. He was a really consistent driver, not the best, but all the time final. And also Record was in his prime, I guess. And my dad could keep up with him. And then my brother was born. I was born. My brother started with 6 years old. At this time I was 4, so I didn't had interest in it. Then I started also with 6 years old, and on a racetrack I finished last. And that's how it started. And over the years, like when Burak was 8, he went super quick. Like also they checked it if he have something in his car, and like it was crazy. And
So what was you guys racing?
Started like that?
Yeah, 8 scale was what you guys started with, right?
Yeah, only 1 8 scale.
Yeah, because
the thing is, we have like in North Germany we have no tracks, like literally zero. The nearest is like 100 kilometer, and it's only carpet.
Oh,
and we need to drive like a lot to races. So like all weekends, 500 kilometers, 600, 1,000, all weekends. So we have like, since I drive, we're never practice in the week. And
you guys don't practice throughout the week?
School and work. So we never practice in the week.
So 8 years old, Burak's getting good. 6 years old, you start. Does your dad?
I was good since 2019 with the Agama. But then we went from Agama to Mugen 2020, and then I went super quick. Like 2019 Buggy Land with the Agama, I don't know how much Robert gave me, how much laps. Like 3-4 laps he gave me.
Right.
And then like 3 months later with the Mugen in Padova, I was starting in front of him.
Incredible.
So
when did your dad stop racing?
Since I drive, since now 9 years.
Really?
Since I started, sorry.
So he does, you were saying he does a lot of the mechanic work for you guys. He works on both of your cars, or do you guys help out at all?
The thing is, we have no mechanic, like a second mechanic. That's why our dad does it. And sometimes in the final, he puts us at the same time, same lap alone. And then I tell my brother, wait off me because we have no other ones. It's all the time super funny.
I was going to ask that. Who pits your brother? Because you guys are always in the finals together.
Like on big races, like someone else coming with us. But on small races, my dad does it alone.
Interesting. All right. So after Burak was 8 years old and he's getting fast, and they were checking for, I assume they were checking for gyros and whatnot. So when was your first big race after that? Like when there was your first real race? And you said you made the finals at 9 years old, but you had to make did you make any other finals before that?
My first big race was actually the German National with 9 years old. Before that, I was with 6 years old in Leipzig. I don't know if you know that. but there was like in the hall also Ronnefalk and all the guys went to there, and I get into the final with Draghi and got 6th place with 6 years old.
And where was this again? Sorry?
In Leipzig. I don't know if you know
I never
that.
heard of that, so I'd have to go look it up.
It was a big race in Germany, so yeah.
Interesting. All right, so when did you guys start taking this a little bit more serious? I know we was talking. You said this is still a hobby for you. That's how you like to think of it. I think of it. It's more of a sport when you're doing it. What you guys are doing that, but we haven't had. We've had a couple of brother teams or racers throughout history. We had the Matt Francis and Mark Francis. We have the Agoins.
Igon.
Majubes. The Skidmores. I'm probably missing the Wreck. What's the other German guy's name? Reinhardt's.
Yeah.
So there's been quite a few brother teams, but I don't know if there's been a brother team where you guys are almost equal in speed. Like I think you guys are both equal. I think it depends. Like one day Burak can beat you, and one day you can beat Burak. But when I talk to like Max and even some other guys, they say you're the faster one. I'm just saying that's what they say. But how do you feel about that?
The thing is, we practice all the time together because he's my brother, and over the years he pushed me a lot. So I become quick because of him. Everybody knows that because with 10 years old he was the fastest in Germany, almost the fastest. And I was like, okay, final, but maybe top 5, maybe not. So I was good, but not like him. And he pushed me. And now we changed the rules. And now I'm behind him and pushing him. And then next race. So it's really good practice with him. And I can say a big thank you to my brother that I'm so fast as now. So,
that's so good that you guys still got along, though, and not get off. Obviously, you're gonna get along, but your brothers. I mean, you're competitors, but your brothers.
Yeah, like all races on big races, we're working together. I only won the Polish national because of him.
Really?
So yeah.
Why was that?
Because in the last round, I was like super bad. I don't know why, but I was sick. I was driving super bad at everything, and another guy was there. He was also super quick, and yeah, normally when I have a bad day and my brother has a good day, he gives me 2 laps normally, easy.
Really?
Yeah, and then he was behind me the whole laps for like 45 minutes, and then he went into the pit, waited like 10 seconds, and then he pushed again. 5 laps later he was behind me. So I don't know how he does it, but he, like on bumpy tracks, he's unstoppable, crazy fast.
Really? How about you? What's your favorite type of track?
Buggy land tracks, like super smooth, and on these tracks I'm super quick. But I don't know why, but since I drive, we only have bumpy tracks.
Okay.
And I'm good at it, but not that good at it, like Burak. He's crazy.
So is Burak good on the smooth tracks as well?
He's also good at it, but like since we joined Moon, like on Padova, Montpellier, Buggyland, Portugal last year, I bet him on every track of them, but on bumpy tracks all the time he's faster.
Oh man, you got to get out there and do some rough track racing, man. Get faster there, but
yeah,
most of the tracks are going to that smooth. Like Buggyland's exceptional. It looked really smooth. Looked like it had some grip. I didn't really see any rough. I couldn't see much, but you obviously was there. Was it as smooth as it looked?
It was super smooth. Like the track was crazy smooth. And yeah, a lot of guys wrote that they have like what's called brake issues and setup issues, and I don't know. Like I never had any problem because I don't know why, but my dad looks at the weather, looks at the track at home, and says, "Okay, I do the setup like this, like this." We go to the race, and then he changed some stubbies and finished.
Really interesting. Well, yeah, Dad seems to know what he's doing as well. He used to race.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's like doing mechanic all week, and doesn't know like this. Like he's doing his job like crazy good. I don't know how, but yeah, the mechanic like all the time. I never had a race where the car was shit. Never. and never had a car issue, like never. I only flamed out or something like this happened, but the car all the time is super crazy good.
Yeah, it's your dad and Mason's dad, Mike. He has 2 kids as well, 2 sons that are racing, and your dad's doing the same thing. And I tell him all the time, I said, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Like even like, and they race a lot. Like you guys, they race on they go to a lot of the big races and stuff like that. So it's good to see that as well. Hey man, when dad's into it, like I would love my kids to. Well, we don't have anywhere to race, so if my son or daughter ever wants to do it, then sure, I'm gonna be all behind them. All right. So you did talk about making this switch from Agama because you guys were on Nemo for quite a long time. How long was you guys running Nemo? Agama.
It was 4 years. Mm-hmm. And yeah, after Burak got 3rd place at the Euros, a lot changed. Mm-hmm. Like Agama is also a good car. Mm-hmm. I can't complain it, but Mugen is Mugen. So
you say it right. Actually, it's Mugen. Like we all say Mugen, but it's Mugen. That's how I think they pronounce it.
I call it on German, so it's Mugen. So
yeah, don't worry. I used to be a Mugenite as well before I met JQ. I have all my Mugen cars back there. That was my first 8-scale car was a Mugen. So
like if you start a C car, you start with Kirsch or Mugen. Everybody knows that.
Exactly. So, that's the only 2 cars that were worth anything back then, really.
Yeah, I think I achieved all with 15. I'm driving for Mugen directly for Japanese with my brother. Mm-hmm. It's perfect.
15 years old. So let's talk about that. Because you said you treat this as a hobby, try not to take it too serious, but realistically, like you and your brother are what I would say you're semi-pro right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, obviously, professional means getting paid and everything, fully travel and all that type of stuff. I don't know what you guys' deal is with.
We can't talk about that, so
no, that's cool. I know that's personal, but I mean, I think you guys are going to be professional racers, both of you, unless something happens and you do something else in life. But is that a goal for you and your brother to become actual professional racers and do it for a living?
The thing is, I want to do school first, so then I can do some SC Cup professional. But I want to have something to start then professional SC Cup. So I can start no SC Cup professional. I think it's no problem. But I want to have something in my hand if something happens in SC Cup. So if some faster drivers come, yes. Go. So like it's like crazy how much new drivers come and go the last time. So yeah.
But you're still like in equivalent to high school of
Yeah, I'm like now in the final year of school, and I don't know if I do like more school after it or go work. I need to decide.
Or take a break and do RC for a year and see where it goes.
Yeah, I need to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're still young, dude. Like, I mean, after that great performance at Buggyland, and then I hope that you guys make it over to America next year. I really want to see you guys come to DNC and do some racing there. Then we have the Worlds next year, which is great. I can't wait for that. And
in Spain. Oh.
I know. I when I saw that, I jumped for joy. I was like, the only thing that can stop me from going to the Worlds next year is if I die, because I am going to the Worlds next year. So I'm all excited. Yeah, I think being a professional racer is not out of the. I think you guys are on the way there. But what do you want to study in school if you was to go to the university?
Still no idea.
Still
so
young.
I need to also think about it. I think I have now like 1 year left, and then I need to see if I study or go work. Like I don't know. I'm good at school, so
you got good grades.
I have a lot of choices. Yeah.
I sucked at school, dude. No worry, I sucked at school. I did not like school. I went to like one of the better schools in my country, but I just didn't like school, and I just didn't like it. Which I'm kind of paying for it now, but that's fine. What about your brother? Is he in school or is he working or what's he doing?
Now he's working. Like he's also good in school, but not like good, if you know what I mean. Mm. Like, and he's now working as what's called where you color the cars.
A painter?
Yeah, a painter.
Okay, like real cars.
Yeah, real cars.
Okay, so he's learning how to do auto body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, auto body. It was
so he's learning a skill. Good, smart man. Because a lot of people just think like, oh yeah, once I get that deal and I become like, I'm almost there, like I'm on my way. But it's still a big jump from getting that 100% deal, maybe a little bit of travel, to getting paid to do this for like paid where you make a decent living.
Yeah.
Very hard. So when you was younger, or even now, who were some of your mentors, some of the drivers that you looked up to?
Always Record. Like in Germany, he was like, oh, crazy. He's the guy. And I know like Robert, also my teammate, I also looked at him because he's still crazy fast. And yeah, I think only the two. And yeah, and now I have Robert as my teammate, and I'm feeling like, nice.
Has he been helpful with you and setting up your cars and whatnot? Has he helped you out a lot?
The thing is, my dad is a really good mechanic. Okay. He doesn't want help or doesn't need any help. So,
Robert had a good buggy land too. 4th, I think he came.
Well, yeah, I was fighting with him.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys were fighting the whole race. Burak was fighting with Ronafalk, and you was fighting with...
no, the thing is, I was at the start fighting with Canas and Augaro for the win. Mm-hmm. Then I had the first engine flamer, but I was still like 20 seconds ahead of Robert and the other guys. Mm-hmm. Then I had the second flamer, and then I was behind them.
Yes.
And Burak was fighting with Robert and Berton. Mm-hmm. Then he had also the 2 times engine flamers, then he was fighting with Ronafalk.
Yeah, you had 2 or 3 flameouts.
I had 2, but the next pit stop was with a bottle, so it was a crazy race.
Just so people clarify, because we talked about this before, this gentleman flamed out 2 times, still finished 3rd, and the reason they found out was the fuel gun.
The fuel gun, we put it in and it flamed out directly. Okay. We don't know why. We had a lot of fuel in it, so
yeah. All right, so now you said there's a lot of young racers, and there is. Europe is full of young racers right now, especially in Italy. Wow, Italy is...
Yeah, that's true. Yes. That's true. A lot of good guys there.
But you guys seem to be rising above that. I mean, you obviously you done, and Spain. Spain's got a lot of young talent. Parente and all those guys coming up too. Who do you feel is your biggest challenge out there in your age bracket?
My brother.
But he's a little older than you.
Yeah, in my age bracket, I think now, like in Italy, they're all, I think, over 18 now. Okay. So they're quite old. So my biggest rival is now my brother, because Daniel Parente, he's like super quick, but like only in Spain.
How old is he?
That's I think he's 16. But he's a lot smaller than me, so he looks younger.
Okay. Well, he needs to get out of Spain.
Italy, yeah, it's normal, but cash and all the other stuff.
Yes.
Also, the Italy guys, they're all only racing in Italy, and they're only fast in Italy. But like Poletti, he's crazy fast everywhere.
Polito?
Like Polito, yeah. Is crazy. Like, I don't know why. Like, I like him, Marco Ravaglia. I really like him as a guy, but I don't know why he's in the top 25. Really, I don't know the system. It's really
because
weird.
The algorithms put him there. Are you in it? I haven't even checked it yet.
No, I don't in it. Like last year, I had like Montpellier P6, Padova P6, what's called Portugal P3. And now P3, and I'm still not in it. And I won Polish national and all the stuff.
Well, the Polish national doesn't count because
I know only the big races. But what?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand it. I know the guy who does it, and it's the way the algorithm works. Because we don't have a series. You know what I mean? We don't have any series in RC, so we can't really.
It's still weird for me, so
it doesn't matter. You finished 3rd at Buggyland versus some of the best in the world, so it doesn't really matter about that. You know what I mean? The top 25 is nice. I like to look at it. It gives us something to talk about. But like to really have a top 25, we would have to have an actual series where people, like any other motorsports. But That's a whole spiel for another day. We've talked about that a lot. All right. Outside of RC, what do you like to do? What are some of your hobbies?
Like, I play a lot of games, like racing games.
Mm-hmm.
I also sitting now in a simulator. And yeah.
Yeah, because you're playing, what you playing, Assetto Corsa?
F1. I'm also driving esports in it, so...
You like esports?
And yeah.
I think it's great.
I do a lot of esports in F1. And I'm playing not a lot, but sometimes basketball.
Mm-hmm. Favorite, any type of sports that you particularly like or follow? Is it just basketball?
F1. It's also a sport, so...
Yeah, of course. Turkey this weekend.
Like football and basket. What? Yeah, oh my God, Turkey, finally.
As we're recording this, it's like, it's before the race because we're recording, before this will be launched, we're recording before that. So Turkey this weekend, I'll be watching that Sunday morning.
I'm super hyped about it.
So. Yeah, it's going to be good. Let's go Hamilton. I'm a Hamilton fan.
I'm like a Carlos Sainz fan. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, his dad was a good rally car driver.
Yeah, I know.
Really good.
We've been, when we were in Madrid, we went to his go-kart track and all was good.
Oh,
it
yeah?
was super nice. Yeah.
Oh, after Buggyland.
Yeah, at the Buggyland race. We went with Ongaro, my brother, and some friends there.
And you said Ongaro beat you there too, right?
No, I bet all the guys I was the fastest. I don't know why. Like 2:10s.
Are you the smallest?
Track record. Yeah, of course.
That's why, because you're the lightest. You're the lightest. Oh, good, man. All right. So, what are some of your goals in RC? And like, what would you like to do in RC?
Like, the thing is, always I try my best at this Sika, but actually I don't have a goal because I'm racing, try my best, and finish. Like, this weekend, I know I could win, so I go for the win. Next race, I know I can go for top 5, I go for top 5. So
that's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So yeah, no pressure for me. Also, no one makes pressure. Like my dad makes no pressure. My brother, like maybe I have a goal: beat my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's the only goal I think.
And what's his goal? To beat you? He wants to beat everybody.
Who?
He wants to beat everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think Burak takes it a little bit more serious than you, or?
Yeah, a lot more. Like, he wants to be professional, but my dad says, no, you're too young, go work and do something. But all good.
I think your dad's smart like that. Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
You should learn a trade. If you're not going to go school, learn a trade. You know what I mean? Because RC doesn't last forever. We know that. I mean, you guys can have a good career. You know what I mean? Let's say 35. What are you going to do after 35? Do you go work in the industry? Do you go get another job? It's hard. So learning a trade is always good. And you know what? If your brother goes out there and works for a year or two, when he becomes a professional RC car driver, he'll appreciate it more. Because he'll be like,
yeah,
all right, I'd rather go travel and race RC cars than do this. But he might like auto body too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know.
It's good because I see a lot of parents that just want their kids to be like, be professional right from a young age, and they want to get them in and they want to do this. But it's a very rare occurrence that happens. Like, you know what I mean? That's like unicorns right there. I think you guys can do it, but I think I would do the same thing as your father. I would be like, all right, go out and work, go out and experience life for a little bit. You know what I mean? You can still race. Like 2 years, he's young. He can be a professional in a year time. You know what I mean? I have a feeling he's probably going to be professional soon too. I know. But maybe you being more relaxed allows you to do better.
Like, I don't know why, but all the guys before the final, they are nervous. And I'm standing there, okay, the final is no good.
No, you didn't get nervous at all?
Never. Like, the first and last time I went nervous was like in Padova, because it was my first race in the eco final against big guys, and I won it. So
yeah.
And since then I never get nervous. Like, okay, I'm driving against my brother. It's always my head. I'm driving against my brother. Finish.
Wow.
No pressure.
That's a lot of people can't do that, man. A lot of people can't do that. You see these guys, like I could imagine so much pressure for those guys. This is money for them too, as well. But you're just like, yeah, I'm just racing my brother.
Yeah, all the time. Like also when Robert was behind me, okay, my brother's ahead of me, full throttle, and finished.
But you did have a little incident this weekend, last weekend. You got in it with Ronafalk. He actually showed me that, and then you showed it to me.
Yeah.
That's racing as well. You know what I mean?
That's racing, I guess. From my side, it happens. It was like not the smartest move because I like have literally zero brake in my car because my car is like super aggressive. Like my rear is super loose. My dad built it like this for us, and I have a lot of steering.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't brake.
You don't brake at all.
And then I brake, but only end of the straight or something like that.
Really? But you drive like me. I can't brake. So, well, my finger doesn't brake fast enough on this side. So I coast a lot. But, excuse me, you are way, way, way better than I would ever be. But I don't use brakes either. But I do not get the results that you get at all. So, interesting driving style. You like a really loose car. Does your brother like that as well?
Yeah, more loose than me. So he's a driver. He has full steering with the Moon. Need more steering. Need more brake. Need more this. Need more this. Like his driving style is super aggressive.
Okay.
Like super. And mine is normally calm. And that's the only difference between us. We are same speed, all same, but the driving is super different.
Well, I think your driving style reflects your personality. You're very calm, very, outgoing. I haven't talked to your brother yet, but, you're the first one to reach out to me. So I guess it's like it reflects your personality. Your driving style is more calm and and relaxed. And he wants that aggressiveness. He wants to be, I think it's like, it's weird because I thought you guys would be both. It's weird because I thought you both be like the same, like, oh, I want to do this. But I haven't even talked to your brother yet. And I can see that you guys are two completely different.
Yeah, we're completely different drivers, persons, everything. Like, everything.
Wow.
Like, on the track, I do nothing. Like, literally nothing. I clean my car, give it to my dad. He says to me, you need to say nothing. I saw all, I change it. Next time will be better. My brother, we need to change this. But my dad already knows it, but because he looks the car and says, okay, it's good, it's shit, we need to change this to 1 point. I don't know. I don't even know any setups. Like, nothing.
You're like,
I don't know anything.
You're like, have you ever seen Days of Thunder? It's a very older movie, but it's about NASCAR driving. And it's got, oh, shucks. This is too old for you. This is like 1990 this was made. But the guy, Cole Trickle was his name. The guy's name, he's a famous actor. I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? He's been in like all these movies, like Mission Impossible, all this stuff. Oh, anywho, this guy doesn't know anything about racing at all. He just drives and he comes in and the guys are talking all this technical stuff to him. He's like, I don't know. So they have to teach him how to do that. Do you think it will come a time when you get interested in learning about your car and how to do things like that?
No.
Why?
Actually, no. Like, so sometimes I'm driving and my dad says, you feel the different I don't know, super, like, normally I drive super soft, and then he puts soft on my car. And then he asked me, can you feel a difference? I say, it's much better, but it's actually super soft. So, he tricks me, and I say it's better or, like, bad, but it's actually the same. So.
Wow. So you're just talented, man. That's what it comes down to. You're just talented.
Like, really, I don't know anything about SC cars. Like, I know car, tires, engine, and like the simple stuff, but about setup and hard things, I don't care and I don't know. So,
so Mugen guys, do not contact Berkan for setup advice.
I always say them, contact Burak or my dad. Finish.
It's like me. People ask me setup advice. I'm like, nah, JQ or Max. I just make minimal. When I did race, I change tires, make this change, and that's it. I just have fun. But I guess that works for you, though.
Yeah,
obviously it is.
The thing is, I have like for me the best mechanic now in the world. Like I never had any problems with the setup. Too much grip, next round the car was perfect. Too less grip, next round the car was perfect. Like also the tires, we now drive per circuit. A lot of guys in America don't know that. Like we have like 4 Prophets and 3 different tire compounds. Enough, and it's fast. It's super quick.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys come to DNC. What's the chances of you guys coming over there?
The thing is now, because I'm in the last year of school, it will be hard to come there, but we try our best to come. Like always, like this year we didn't go to Portugal because of COVID. Last day they said you can't go. It's you need to go 2 weeks into quarantine. I go to school, so I need to stay in Germany, and we don't go alone. Like Burak could, but my dad said both or none.
I like that. I think he wants you guys to both have the same opportunities, and I think he thinks if one of you go, then the other misses out on something. So that's the way to do it, man. That's honestly the way to do it. That's how the Fullers do it, and
like I have no problem. My dad can go to races with my brother alone, but he will not do it. Like when I was 12 years old, I was so close to stop SC car racing because I didn't enjoy it anymore. And my dad said, okay, it's your choice. But then I was like, next week, I'm so bored. I need to do something. And then went to racing again.
How do you feel about it now? Do you enjoy it still? Are you passionate about it?
Like when I'm driving, it's like, it's like my favorite food or something. I'm just liking it. It's like, it's a hobby for me still. Yeah. I'm still liking it. Like on the final, I finished third. I was like, nice, super good. Like the thing is, my impression or what's called my emotions are really not that high. Like I'm like, okay, nice. Also, in every qualifying session in Magiland, I finished second. And I went with one nitro 4th and the other in eco 3. But every other, I finished like second with a half second behind Ongaro, Canas, or someone else. It was like, okay, good.
Yeah, I think, and wow, I just, like I said, when you first told me that, when we first talked, I was like, wow, this is just, and then I just realized, like, now talking to you, getting to know you over the last few days, like I can see, like, this just works for you. Like some people are tense, just like in it. And I think some people are just like, yeah, let's go. And how you explained how when you're racing, that was pretty cool. It's like, I'm eating my favorite food or something like that. That's pretty cool. All right. So what's next for you guys? Where are you guys racing next?
I don't know. Now, I think this month is Padova, but we don't know if we go there because it's like empty the race. We don't know why, but no one will go to the race.
Well, they have the Reg GP next weekend, I think. I think that's where JQ's
We don't go there. We don't go there. Okay. It's like for us, we have a story, but we don't talk about that.
No, he says we have a story, but we don't talk about that. Oh, my gosh. So what has been your favorite track to go to so far? Has it been Buggyland?
The first time we went to Redovan, like where the world champion is now, 2016. Crazy.
What do you like about that track so much? It's so big.
Like it's big. Sometimes you don't even see your car. It's like you see your antenna. It's called on English antenna. Yeah. Sometimes you only see this and then you follow this. It's so funny. I'm just having fun on the track.
It is a massive track. I wonder if they're gonna rebuild it they would have to rebuild it for the Worlds.
Yeah, 40% or something like that.
That's a big track to rebuild.
Yeah, but normally the Spain guys knows like the underground. It's called the ground.
The dirt.
The dirt. They know everything. So I think Canas, Robert, and all the other Spain guys will be driving away.
What do you think about? I don't know. I think Canas is so fast right now. Like
the thing is, Canas is like super quick, but he also make like the little mistakes, like what cost 5 seconds, and Ongaro like didn't do anything. Yeah. Still don't do any little errors.
Crazy, insane. I watched Canas at RCGP and wow, he was I thought he was faster than Ongaro, in all out speed and pace. what I saw him doing with those cars, man, the guy's he's fast. He's fast.
Yeah, that's true. Like also, I'm doing like when I practice my first practice session, I just put any tire on it, like normally pro circuit, but you know what I mean. Compound doesn't matter. Know the track. Second practice, I try to get on my pace for the final. So my practice, qualifying, and semifinals, I'm practicing for the final. Like where my limit is, then I go like not 100%, like 95. Then you know what I mean. So I'm just preparing for the finals, like every session.
So what are you doing in downtime at the track? When you're wrenching, so what are you doing when you're not driving at the track, when you're at a race?
Like on the race, normally I'm talking with other guys about anything else, because on the racetrack, I don't know why, but I don't like it to talk about SC car. I don't know why. I'm just talking about, I don't know.
You seem like the guy, like one guy that really doesn't like RC cars, but you're good at it and you do it, but you like it that way.
No, I really like it, but I don't talk about that often. Gotcha. So in school, they asked me, what did you do on the weekend? Yeah, I went to a track and drove the finish. So
what do your friends think about it?
Yeah, it's super easy and blah, blah, blah. And then they come to me, I give them my radio control here, some Forestry Pro, 1 minute slower at a 20-second lap. And they say, oh, it's too difficult. Wow, I didn't know that. So
as a young person in RC, right? You sound like, I always say RC isn't cool. You know what I mean? It's full of old guys like me who sit around and talk about RC too much and think we're great. There's not many young racers like yourself in RC. Maybe in Europe it's a little different. Do you think, like, as a young person in RC, you're in it, you're doing it at a high level, and you're treating it as a hobby, but you're still at a very high level? Why do you think that young people aren't getting into it, and what can we do to fix RC so we can attract more young people into RC?
The thing is, when I started, my dad went with us to all big races. Like, the first big race for me was with 6 euros, the Euro B, on the Hungaroring. Second big race was 2014 in Neo Buggy. I didn't even did the best final, like the first final, but it's experience.
Right.
And the thing is, in Germany, we have like 4 juniors. I'm one and 3 others. Mm-hmm. They're only racing in their home city or something like that. And the dads don't really support it.
Right.
Or like in Germany, like the club, I don't want to say this, but it's really not good. Gotcha. Or they are not good. So they don't give any money to young children or say, okay, I will pay your start money because your dad has not enough money or something. In France, or I think it's in Italy, pay. They will pay you a lot. So that's why maybe you have in French and in Italy a lot of juniors. Because they can go to the big races. Right. Because the club says, okay, we will pay you what's called starting money.
Yeah, helps travel and in France. Yeah. I didn't realize that. That's good.
And in Germany, like, we have a lot of drivers. Like, we have qualification race for the nets. Like, it's crazy full all the time. Like, we have a limit 120 at the nets, but we could easily go like 300 cars.
Really?
Like, it's crazy full. Yeah. And only nitro buggy, not an eco truggy, only one class.
What's your favorite track in Germany?
We don't have any. Like, we have Rhein Main and Santa Main, but yeah, probably it's Rhein Main, but it's also 50 carpet, 50 dirt. And yeah, but yeah, I think it's the best in Germany.
Which one is closest to you?
Good one.
Which track is closest to you?
100 kilometer or 70, 80 kilometer. It's like a full carpet track where they play football, and you can't drive on it, but because you jump and the car is like this. So we never practiced that. It's not a track.
Wow. So you guys just, it's crazy.
The nearest good good track is Rain Main, 500 kilometers. So
interesting. Is there anything you would like to see change in our industry?
All good.
He says all good.
So I think maybe we need more young drivers, but I think like we need more guys who supports the hobby.
Yeah, we need more people.
We need to go into TV and the other stuff, maybe into Netflix. We don't know.
Yes,
and like then a lot more will do it. So
I know it's. I was watching Netflix, like the world's most obscure sports, yo-yoing and rolling cheese wheels down a hill and all that stuff, and I'm like, we're so obscure we can't even get on this. I think unfortunately people just
makes no sense.
Yeah, people just don't know what we're doing, man. But we need young guys like you. I mean, honestly, I don't talk to many 15-year-olds. You don't seem 15 to me. I'm sure you are a regular 15-year-old, but to me you seem very mature and very much older than 15. But we need people like you, and we need young drivers like you, because you guys are the ones that are going to take it to that next level. You guys are you're the tech guys, you're the social media guys, you're the age of all of that. So you guys are going to take it to that next level, and then the generation behind you guys is going to benefit from it, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it will be.
All right. Well, I told you this was only going to be 45 minutes. I enjoyed getting to know you. I want to talk to your brother too now, because I would love to.
I can call him.
No. Next, I'm going to interview him next time, but I want to see the difference between you guys, because you're just so chilled. Like, you know what I mean? You sound like you want to be down here in the DR on the beach, chilling out.
Yeah, but I'm also in what's called privacy life, like and private life. I don't care about anything, so I'm super chilled, I think. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, do you want to say shout out and say thank you to anybody before we finish this?
To my dad and mom, who supports me all the time, and and also my grandma, because she's the best, as always,
and also to Burak for pushing you.
Yeah, also to Berkan. He knows that, because only of him I'm fast, and everybody knows that.
Incredible. I wonder I'm going to ask. I wonder if you push him. When I find out, I wonder if he thinks you push him. Maybe not, because you're getting faster.
I can tell you now, it's in practice sessions, I don't know how, but he's so much quicker than in the finals, qualifying, and anything else. But in the practice, he's flying over the track. Like, I don't know if he's in the finals nervous or something, but in practice, he don't care about anything. And
oh my gosh, he's got to do that focus training, like in Formula One, where they do the tennis balls. You seen that?
Yeah.
He's got to do that, and then he can stop being nervous and get his hand-eye coordination. I think all of that stuff needs to come into play in RC. Because I think focus training, hand-eye coordination, and all that type of stuff is the only exercises that you guys, as professional drivers, on the level that you guys are at. I know you're not a professional yet, but you know what I mean. But man, I hope to see you in America next year. You and your brother. I want to finally meet you, your dad, and everybody. Joseph and Max always speak very highly of you guys, so that's great. And I enjoyed getting to know you, and I hope that. I honestly, I think a lot of people like me are going to be shocked that you're only 15 years old. I can sit off and talk with you all day, like almost. And it's incredible. But thank you for your time, man. And I look forward to seeing you and your brother become the dynamic. I want to see like you guys go take on the RC world. Like, you know what I mean? And do it and do it for Turkey, do it for... Hey, that's what I meant to ask. Is there any RC racing in Turkey?
Like, we have a track, it's like an 8, and they're driving in an 8, so it's like in Turkey that. But the on-road track in Turkish are crazy good. Oh, they are crazy good.
I forgot to ask that. So, you only do 8 scales, so are we going to see you doing any other genres of RC?
We're still thinking about that, but... I don't really like on the road. It's like 5 minutes and finish. You can do even like refuel or something. It's boring for me.
But there's 10 scale.
It's like, yeah, bro, like, 10 scale, we need to see in the future, maybe. But like Burak, you know Christopher Krapp, the German one?
Who was that?
Christopher Krapp. It's German, Christopher Krapp. He's like in the US final top 5 all the races in modified.
I've probably heard his name. I don't follow 10. Is this on road?
Yeah, it's on road.
Okay.
EOS, like the European on road series, like Mark Reinhardt, Arkberg, and Bruno always drive there.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher Krapp, he's getting like every time top 5, and Burak is same speed with him. So Burak is in everything fast.
Wow.
Like,
I got to interview Burak. But you know what?
Yeah.
Berkan isn't slow either. Berkan just came third after 2 flameouts. So against some of the best in the world. So don't sell yourself short, dude.
No problem with that. So
all right, man. Well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna let you get back to Formula One. I enjoyed my chat with you, and tell your brother I said he's next. I want to talk to him.
Will do.
And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to seeing both of you doing well in RC and being in RC for a long time. We need it. We need it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot that I can be on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna figure out. I gotta find something to rant with JQ so you guys can have a good laugh. You know, like we can get a good argument, but probably not this week. All right, dude. Thank you for your time, and yeah, kill it. Keep killing it, man. Congratulations on third, and I look forward to seeing big things from you and your brother.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sun City RC Raceway, the home of El Paso's world-famous motocross-inspired 8-scale off-road track. The Showers family has over 20 years experience creating one of the premier tracks in the USA. Their world-class facility has everything: handicap accessibility, covered beds, skate starts, space for parking RVs, trailers, and lights for night racing. Follow SCRC on Facebook under Sun City RC Raceway for updates, upcoming races, or host your own race. Yes, and thank you to SCRC. Sorry, I jacked my chair up too high here. There we go. Shout out to SCRC, Sun City RC Raceway, and the Showers family, Joey, Corbin, and Christian. They just had the U.S. Open here a few weeks ago. Great family who love RC, and if you are in the El Paso area, please stop by and show them some love, because they show the podcast some love, and we greatly appreciate their support. Thank you to those guys. So nothing real serious, Max, but with Marco kind of starting the whole silly season, my favorite time of the year is her. And this is like the time when I try to chill out, but I never chill out with this stuff because my brain just goes and I get so many little tidbits of information and stuff like that.
And it's funny because everyone releases it on Monday usually. Like obviously Marco released now on Thursday, but a lot of guys release on Monday morning. So like Monday is so crazy when everyone like hour by hour, like big names say like, I'm changing this, I'm leaving this. It's fun.
I think like, we're not going to really go into too much about silly season, but I think it's something that, my thought of the week is that I think that's something unique that we have in comparison with many other real full-scale sports. And I think we honestly just don't make a big enough deal about it, because here we have the top athletes in our sport making these moves, and we're just like, oh yeah, it's all so secretive and all that stuff. And I just get so upset at that, and that's why I go so geek out for this stuff so much, and I get so into it, because this is exciting to me, and I feel this is exciting to others. This is the shit that I wanted to listen to. I wanted to know when I was just sitting in the pits and I didn't know anybody. You know what I mean? Now I have a little bit of an inside view on things. I want the world to know, and I think this makes it exciting. I just don't understand why the industry does not embrace this more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually nice that sort of the brands don't like, they try to keep it a bit secret, because that's what they should do. But I think it's very, like, I think if you see someone running at the track with the new car, you always say it. You always say, like, at least tell your friends and try to share it to someone. Of course, it's nothing. I think that's fun, because that's like you're trying to find something out. That's always fun. So I encourage everyone to do that. And every time someone's doing something like running a different engine at some race or whatever it is, like try to find that out. Like what Circus did with the Worlds, that was actually huge. That was probably one of the biggest like journalist things that has been in RC for a long time. Like Phil used to do it, and Phil was really good with this. But since Phil hasn't been around, like it has to sort of be missing from RC. Phil actually took a lot. Like he actually put a lot of effort in the silly season as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the best parts about RC media.
Yeah, I think this year, and Joseph will probably be around between us three and whoever else we get on her. We're gonna blow this stuff up this year, and I think we're gonna see a lot of moves. I've been hearing things.
I think
a lot, but
I think it's gonna be the craziest silly season. Like obviously now we're doing these crazy predictions, and it's gonna be the most boring silly season ever. But like I predict that it's gonna be one of the craziest silly seasons in a while, because COVID's over. Next year's the World's year. A lot of companies are sort of restructuring, and a lot of companies are sort of like I don't know if a lot of people are having their contracts ended this year.
A good bit are.
People like Van Dalen, Mayfield, everyone running MX engines this year. I guess some people have already picked a new engine.
Proline.
AKA drive. Yeah. What happens with AKA? What happens with TLR? Do they sign a new guy? Are they happy with Cav and Fend? Fend will obviously go to Proline. But apart from that, like what else happens? Will Cav start running OS engines like Fend is doing? I don't know. Like all that type of stuff. Like TLR, like actually I'm really excited about what TLR, this silly season could decide if TLR will become sort of the dominant race team in RC, like professional race team. Because if they do this properly, they can make it happen. TLR can be the sort of the number one in 8 scale, even if they don't have a good car, or even if they don't have like the absolute best driver.
So I heard they have a new car.
That would be cool. I mean, I'd be down for that as well.
But I would not. I think we have to do I think by the end of this year, we should get together and do a ranking of the year of these companies and maybe drivers and stuff like that. But TLR is definitely high on my list of companies that I just think are going to make major moves because they just have the most money behind them. And
yeah, exactly. That's that. It's just that really.
And we thought they were getting out of racing.
I think they have a decent brand though.
Yes, I agree.
I think the TLR has a decent brand. They have one of sort of like with Associated. They have sort of one of the strongest brands, in my opinion, in America at least. And in Europe, Mugen and Kyosho have a bigger one, but it's a bit different.
Yes, and I'm going to stoke that beef fire as much as I can between TLR and AE and Mugen, because I think it's AE Mugen versus TLR. And that's this. I'm super excited for silly season, and I'm super excited for what's coming up in 2022. And it's going to be interesting.
Also like Mayako. Who does Mayako sign? What's going to happen? Also RCGP. Which teams are going to attend?
Yep.
Because as it looks like now, it's definitely going down. So all that this silly season will be really cool in my opinion. And the Tekno and the explosion inside the team. Does that happen? Does it not?
Yeah.
How everything goes down?
You know, like. Yeah, we pretty much have a feeling that we know Seth's. Oh, where does Seth go? You know, where does he go? People are like, we could go anywhere. Yes, he probably can, but he has to. He can go anywhere that will give him a free car. He has to go somebody that's going to go where that's going to pay him a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even like I get that he wants the paycheck, but Seth doesn't want to go to a company that will pay him to drive a shitty car.
That's true too.
Because he won't get the results. His contract will run out. And that's it.
You'll fit this is what people don't understand. There's been plenty of 18, 19, 21-year-old fast guys in RC that have chased that paycheck because that's what they want to do, and that's cool. But then when they realize that it don't come, or they make that final mistake and they go to a brand that isn't the best. That's it. Like that's the nail in the coffin, and they fizzle out and they go into real world. I don't want to see that happen.
Lutz is amazing.
I don't want to see that happen.
Lutz is amazing. because at every step of the way, apart from Kyosho, Lutz made that exact decision. Well, I don't know if he went for the money per se, but he made the going for the money move, which is like
This is true.
going to the shitty brand. But I don't know if he
not shitty.
I don't know if he did,
Let's not say shitty.
Okay.
The no
but
unknown
it's
brand.
like non-proven and like no sort of promise brand. Because there are brands like, let's say TLR in 2006 in 8 scale, that was a non-proven brand, but it had a lot of promise. So you would want to go there at that point. Well, at that time it was Team Losi, obviously. In 8 scale, they were big in 10 scale beforehand. But like Lutz raced for Tamiya in 8 scale. He raced for Durango after that. Then Tekno
wasn't
and now
big.
WRC.
You know what I mean? No,
yeah,
Adama,
At that time, Tekno was nothing really. Like, obviously, it had a car, it had a business, but it wasn't anything it is today. So
Tekno has just made some big moves too. Just like if it's true what we heard about Barufalo.
I mean, I can't understand how they don't run out of money doing this.
Oh, I just think that they're one of the team. I think they're one of the companies that are really doing well in America, and they kind of focused on that, and now they're going to focus out into. They advertise a lot. They give. I know. Look, I am not just saying this because they sponsored the podcast, because I've actually been to the races and watched them. They have a team atmosphere. People enjoy that. They do that coin thing, which I think is really cool, where you can challenge somebody else for a coin. Yeah, so they have coins that have numbers on them. So, for instance, like at Icebreaker, I watched, I think it was on the 5150 movie that Corey Drakenberg made. So you can go up and challenge somebody on the team if a higher, like with a lower number than you. So say you're like 250, and you will say, hey, I'm going up, I want that number 5 coin. You know what I mean? You can go and find that and challenge that person at that race to see who wins and stuff. Like, they have little bet. I think that's all cool stuff.
I mean, I dig it. I dig the Tekno team atmosphere for sure. Like, I have nothing against. I think what Tekno is doing as a company and how their team is, everything. I mean, I'm a huge fan actually, and I have huge respect for what they've done. I criticize the car a lot.
Yeah, because that's the engineer in you.
That's what I'm interested in mostly, but I gotta give it to them. I've always liked the way they did everything. Man, apart from the car.
I'm hearing some young stalwarts who have been with certain teams for many years are branching out on the earn. It's gonna be we're gonna see some partnerships that are broken up here that, you know, be like, oh wow, we never would have thought that happened. I think we're gonna see maybe 1 or 2 drivers. Maybe 1 or 2 drivers doing this part-time. Maybe 1 driver out completely. We don't know. So we're getting excited, and we're getting prepared for it. Lots of Red Bull, lots of coffee, and it's going to be a good silly season. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be a hot silly season this year? And are we going to get our predictions right? We're not making predictions yet.
I love that we really, really hyped it up. Okay, let's make 3. Like, Marco is settled. Marco is gone. So let's predict Marco, and let's predict Seth. Well, actually, I don't know anything where even Seth could go. But Marco, let's predict where he probably is going. Let's try to do 3 predictions right now.
Well,
just 3.
It's either Tekno,
and
TLR.
We can do like we can do like let's do a prediction where Marco is going, and then 1 other guy who is going somewhere else, and then some guy who's just leaving and we don't know where. Right. Well, okay, Seth is just leaving, so that's that. But then let's predict where Marco goes, and then some other change.
Well, I'm pretty sure Marco is going to Tekno.
I think that's certain at this point.
But
so
I mean,
now we need
anything
to
can happen.
figure out
Anything can
that's
happen, though.
surprising.
Anything can happen.
Definitely
especially after an announcement like this he just made. And who knows what teams are saying, "Hey, we got this for you right now." And I think TLR is one of them. And if AE is smart, they might go after him to team him up with because him and Ongaro are good friends. But maybe Kyosho too.
No, I think Kyosho is done. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. All right, but
that's my take. I think CJ's leaving as well.
Yeah, I
but
think
let's try to do something. Okay, let's do one because we have those two which are pretty much certain. Seth will leave and Marco will go.
Yeah, but
to
where
Tekno.
does Seth go?
I mean, we talked about WRCs
because of Send It RC possibly.
Yeah.
Where does this is the thing? Where does Seth fit in a team?
Yeah, I'd say if he wants to make a salary, WRC is probably his best and only choice.
S-Works maybe.
Like if he wants to make good amount of money.
S-Works too. I think he'll fit in good at S-Works.
You know what? Actually, yeah, probably something like that.
I hope Barufalo does not go to S-Works and just become another cog in the wheel in the European wheel that is S-Works though. I just thought of that.
No, but dude, like that guy with an S-Works, I'd say he's faster than Canas.
Probably.
He drives like Canas, but faster.
I just don't want them. They have all the fast drivers too, and they continue to have them. Think anybody's
going to
win?
That's weird. Well, they always second or third.
Yeah, they do. I think Cav is straight for another year. His contract's up. Yeah, I just don't know where Seth ends up. I mean, Losi does, and the thing is, like, if you go to Losi, you're gonna have to run 10 scale. If you go to Associate, you're gonna have to run 10 scale.
You know what?
Mugen does not open up their purse strings. That's why Tanner Denny is doing it part time.
I think the best move for Seth Van Dalen and for the company that would sort of get him would be HB. Mm-hmm. I don't think HB can afford to pay him like a full salary, but I think HB can afford to pay him a part salary, and then some other company will pay something else. Let's say tire sponsor or engine sponsor. Mm-hmm. I think if this was a perfect world, Seth would go to HB. Yep. That's my sort of.
I think Mayako would be a good landing spot for him too, but he still has to prove himself too.
Yeah, to me, like if he went to Mayako, that would be as good or better move as HB. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if he has sort of the attitude and the sort of willingness to go to Mayako.
Yeah, because if you,
I don't know.
Whoever the first real top driver for Mayako is gonna be like.
Well, I kind of know who it is, but I will not say.
Yeah, I know who it is too, but I'm not gonna say who it is either. But like that person who's available to people, like you know how long like people's waited for somebody to not to drive one of JQ's produced cars like that are good that can drive it better than him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like a driver that. Somewhat top drive. I don't think they're going to be a top driver.
You know what? Now that you brought up Mayako, I'd actually wish he would go to Mayako. I don't know the people, so I'm not taking that into consideration. But the way he drives, the place where he is in America, and all that, I think he would very well in there. Mm-hmm. I doubt that Mayako would be able to pay him a proper salary, but I doubt HB would either. Mm-hmm. But if he goes to HB or Mayako, I'm very, very happy for him either way. Mm-hmm. If he goes to some other brand, if it's not, hard. Let's say Mugen or AE, I'm going to be like, okay, you know?
I just don't see room for him at AE or Mugen either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see that happening really.
And Mugen has Drake.
TLR could be cool.
Maybe just
but that would be better for TLR. But it would be better for TLR than it would be for Seth. I think the reason I wanted to go to HB or Mayako is because that would benefit both. So, there'll be sort of HB would have a good driver on top of Cole and some rumored drivers that are going to join. But I think Seth would still be the number 2 in America after Cole. And he would have sort of a good car with him that, to me, at least looks like it would suit his driving style. So I would like to see that happen.
All right. Let's talk about somebody that's on the bubble. One more.
Okay.
Maybe we're on the same wavelength.
Do you have something in mind?
Well, maybe on the same wavelength here. Joe Bornhorst.
Wow, that's out of the part. Do you think he would leave?
I think.
Do you have some rumors, or is it just a thought?
Let's just put some things into play here real quick. So we was only supposed to spend 5 minutes on this, but we've gone over. So he had to blow up.
Excited.
He had to blow up with Seth at the Nationals. He's
had that before as well.
Right,
but
it was public. Some idiot caught it publicly. I don't know who that was. It was just a mistake. I just happened to catch it, people. Sorry.
Yeah, but that was good. Like, that's what you need to do.
But that's what happens after these races. You know what I mean? That's what happens.
Yeah, every time.
I think that might have sent some ripples in the force there, and because
the thing is, it was Seth though. Oh no, it was Tyler.
No, it was Seth and Warner and Joe. And then it was kind of funny.
The thing is, like, Seth, we're sort of agreeing that Seth will leave. So I would imagine Tekno is taking Joe's side on this stuff.
Right. No, I don't know though, because they're pretty fair on the board with things like that too. You know what I mean? And
they is.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that. I can see that.
That like they kind of like, you know, that's how they kind of keep the guys straight. And I mean, I know, like, they kind of suspended Seth. Was it Lisher or Lasher for a bit? And I honestly think, I don't know, I haven't heard anything, but it's a suspicion that I think Joe actually got suspended after that. He did go to the E-Nationals, but I think that was already planned. But he did not go to Wicked Weekend, and he's just not been. He didn't go to Southern Nats, I don't think, or did he? Yeah, he might have been to Southern Nats.
Not sure, but he's been more quiet after that, though.
Exactly,
he's been more quiet for sure.
He's been very quiet, and I just don't. I just put that together. See, that's the type of stuff that piques my silly season radar. And then the thing is, the funny thing is that I'm not the only one thinking like that, because then other people are like, hey, you don't think it's kind of funny? And I was like, yeah. And I was just, you know, so yeah, Joe was at Southern Nationals.
So what if it is Seth out and Seth and Bornhorst out and Barufalo in?
I don't know where Bornhorst fits in. S-Works?
I can't. TLR, dude. TLR.
Really? And just do 8? Well,
yeah.
Well, I think he can do 10 scale too. You know what I mean?
But I don't think TLR really
care that much.
Well, okay.
They probably have Fend and these young guys to worry about 10 scale. We want an 8 scale specialist. I don't want to see Joe Bornhorst out of RC. I want to see Bornhorst embrace his, like, I'm the asshole mantra, and, like, use that as a character. Yeah, because I think it's kind of embraced, like, you know, I get it. I'm not going to be everybody's friend all the time. Embrace that and make a character out of it and bring some charisma to RC. It'd be great.
He's definitely a charismatic person. That's no doubt.
Well, you would know all about that, because you got almost very charismatic and personal with you.
Yeah,
that was just one of the.
I never even talked to him, but
Hey, I swear, at that moment, if I could have disappeared, I would have. But anywho, I think it's just somebody that we haven't mentioned. I mean, I could be saying this, and he could still. All right, so Max's camera died. He could still be staying at Tekno because he's just been with them so long, which I hope happens for him too.
Yeah.
But I just
can't really see him going fit with Tekno, even if he was suspended, is still better than any other company.
I would agree.
For me, I feel like.
I agree. But my there's a disturbance in the silly season force, and my midichlorians are definitely pinging. So I don't know.
Okay, so our bold prediction is Bornhorst out of Tekno. That's our, like, really bold prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not backing that, but okay, I'll go with you.
Okay, and I think where we're going to see a lot of shuffling is in tires and engines too. Maybe not too many.
Tires will be completely redone. Everyone from AK, I think, will be out.
We're going to see a lot of younger, fast guys making chassis changes this year.
Yeah, for sure. Drivers like not
Jackson
Pavidis,
Brunson,
but
I think, like Pavidis. I think guys like that, you're going to see them.
I don't think Pavidis is going to change. But, well, actually, now that we talk about this, Hot Race, does he hang out with Tessman? Does he hang out with Ogden?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we haven't even mentioned X-Ray in this whole thing. Like we've completely forgot about that. Seth can go to X-Ray. There's a perfect fit for him right there. But I think where they would get in trouble is that his dad will bump heads with Gord, and then they would all bump heads with Martin and with Uri. I think that would be the issue.
I mean, Hard to say what's going on with X-Ray. Really,
we forgot about them.
They are a bit odd. They're missing a driver in Europe for sure.
They're missing a driver in America.
They have been losing drivers.
Besides,
they have Ty.
Yeah, but they need that double. You know, in this American race, you need that double.
Jellin was actually a perfect fit.
I know.
I wish they didn't mess it up.
Where does Jellin go?
I don't know. To school?
Maybe.
Hard to say. Yeah. It looks like that, but I hope it isn't because he's a really talented guy.
I just think that they're very disappointed with just the level of support that they're getting from Kyosho at the moment. I mean, it's a shame.
Oh, I mean,
it's a shame.
They don't get anything. They get support from A-Main. That's it.
Yeah, I think. It's a shame. And CJ is such a nice young man, and I don't want to see him out of RC. So hopefully he sticks.
The thing is, like I feel like he likes RC. He's, I mean, one of the smartest guys at that age. He's a few years younger than me, I believe.
17.
And I mean, yeah, I've always gotten like a really smart vibe from him, and I'm a huge fan of him. So I wish he would go into, and dude, he's a World's A finalist.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't get a drive for next year, like a proper drive where he can travel,
right? I want to see him racing. I don't want to see what happened with him in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? I want to see him racing.
Exactly.
I don't want to see I don't want to see RC without CJ Jellin.
Dude, we were supposed to be quick with this.
I know. So we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna stop at her. We're gonna stop at her. We're gonna stop at her because we get excited, and now we're gonna be. This could have been a whole other podcast. All right. As you guys know, this podcast is brought to you by Lugs Racing. Lugs Racing has over 55 years of combined RC experience. They have been testing wheels, treads, and rubber for performance. You have the Lugs Econ tires, which are developed with racing budgets in mind. High quality, but lower cost means savings that can be passed on to you, the racer. We also have their premium line of tires. They are for pure performance and made using custom Lugs molds and their proprietary rubber compound mix that they have. Tires are available in medium, soft, super soft, mega soft, and now in long wear. You can visit them at www.lugs.com and use the promo code NNRC Lugs to save some money. And with that, I'm going to say thank you to all of our sponsors. They are Mayako, Beach RC, TNR Fuels, Hitec RC, Tekno RC, Sun City RC Raceway, obviously Lugs Racing Tires, Donathan RC Leads, Donathan RC, best charging leads out there. I love them. I have them over there. I'm going to order some more here. Gonna hit you up, Zach. I need some more. Check them out. We have a coupon code for that. It's in the written description of this podcast. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. They just released a new compound called Blue. Check it out. You have a promo code that you can save 10% on there. It is NNRC. Racecraft USA. Chasing the Boys. We have a promo code there. NNRC Squad. And of course, RCGP and House of RC. Max, thank you for your time, dude. It was fun, and we was only supposed to go 2 hours, and we went 2.5. But hey, that's how it goes. What happens. Thank you to Berkan Kilic for his time, and I look forward to interviewing his brother Burak. Great, they seem like a very great family. I really want to meet them one day. And who's excited for silly season? This guy, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun to talk about this stuff. And man, it's looking like 2022 or 2022 is 2022. I said 20,000. I'm way ahead. 2022 is going to be a very busy RC year if COVID doesn't mess it up. And I am super freaking excited about that, man. And I am excited for Christmas and all that type of stuff, and it's going to be a great 2022. I'm glad to have Max on board, more full-time now, and we're going to add some more co-hosts that will rotate in as well with us. We're going to, we're revamping a lot of things at the podcast, and it needs that young, hip stuff. Oh, Discord. Don't forget the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to grow that, and we're enjoying that.
Discord is really great. We just need to get more people to join it. Right now, it's like there's some conversation every day, so it's being good already. Like, let's get more people into it, and
I want to have 1,000 really plus people in there, man. Come on, we got 110 there. Let's get up to 500 people by the end of the year. That's the goal. Let's get 500 people in our Discord, and you guys will enjoy it. And then the thing is, once we get in there and we can open up more things, we can talk about a lot more things. like, you know,
Exactly.
and stuff like that. All right, Max, thank you for your time. You know what? Thank you to all of the listeners of the podcast, the NNRC squad. We cannot do it without you guys. We greatly appreciate all of your support, listening, sharing, asking questions. We ask that you continue to do that. Please use our affiliate links. Please use our coupon codes. It helps us out a lot. And, you know, just leave reviews as well. Please leave a review. That's actually how Max got his nickname. And that helps us out too. And that, yeah, he got it off a review. And that helps put our podcast out in the stratosphere more. Don't forget our YouTube channel. Please click and like and sub that. We're almost at 1,500 subs. I haven't really been putting too much effort in this. I just kind of have it as something for people to watch these podcasts. But we're going to be using a lot more video next year as well in our podcast. So we're excited about that. And I just have to say thank you to the patrons of the NNRC. We greatly appreciate your support, and you guys allow me to be able to do this and now help Max come on and do things like this. So we greatly appreciate that. And if you wish to be a patron of the podcast, there will be a link for everything in the written description of this podcast. Max, do you have anything you want to say before we sign out of here, good buddy?
Join the Discord, enjoy life, and get ready for silly season.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? Nitro is the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding and sliding, Lefty and Max are. Oh, he can't give you a salute because his camera died. So see you later, Max.
I'll do it still.
We can't see you.
I'm doing it, dude.
We can't see you.
Yeah. You need to trust me, dude.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.
so bad.